be smarter. Realme, dare to leap.
You've got me on the edge.
Legit, right? Not quite. Just like your disposable razor. It's time you switch your disposable razor for your legit first shave, so you can be every bit legit. Gillette Mac 3.
For a closer shave, less irritation, switch to
Gillette Mac 3.
Are you game to be great? Now you can with the new Smart Giga Games 99. Get 1 gig data all day, every day for Mobile Legends and more. Game to be great with Smart Giga Games 99.
The way you live your life depends on the network you choose. Your movies, music, and games can only be as good as your network's speed and strength. Slow means
Game over.
but the Philippines' fastest mobile data network means
Game changing.
choose the network that gives you what you truly enjoy. How do you know about this Giga Life?
Simple and smart ako.
When uncertainty is our reality, we rise above with the things that matter. Gigafy happiness. Gigafy love. Gigafy friendship. Gigafy dreams. Gigafy hope. With smart Giga music, video, games, work, and stories, we let our passions run free in the new world we face together. Smart, live Giga.
Realme smartphone, dare to leap.
Realme Watch, time to be smarter. Realme, dare to leap.
Don't pay cash.
You've got me on the edge.
Legit, right? Not quite. Just like your disposable razor. It's time you switch your disposable razor for your legit first shave, so you can be every bit legit. Gillette Mac 3.
For a closer shave, less irritation, switch to
Gillette Mac 3.
Are you game to be great? Now you can with the new Smart Giga Games 99. Get 1 gig data all day, every day for Mobile Legends and more. Game to be great with Smart Giga Games 99.
The way you live your life depends on the network you choose. Your movies, music, and games can only be as good as your network's speed and strength. Slow means
Game over.
but the Philippines' fastest mobile data network means
Game changing.
choose the network that gives you what you truly enjoy. How do you know about this Giga Life?
Simple and smart ako.
When uncertainty is our reality, we rise above with the things that matter. Gigify happiness. Gigify love. Gigify friendship. Gigify dreams. Gigify hope. With smart Giga music, video, games, work, and stories, we let our passions run free in the new world we face together. Smart, live Giga.
Realme smartphone. Dare to leap.
Realme Watch. Time to be smarter. Realme Dare to Leap.
Don't pay cash. Para may balik bayad ka.
You've got me on the edge.
Legit, right? Not quite. Just like your disposable razor. It's time you switch your disposable razor for your legit first shave so you can be every bit legit. Gillette Mac 3.
For a closer shave, less irritation, switch to
Gillette Mac 3.
Are you game to be great? Now you can with the new Smart Giga Games 99. Get 1 gig data all day, every day for Mobile Legends and more. Game to be great with Smart Giga Games 99.
The way you live your life depends on the network you choose. Your movies, music, and games can only be as good as your network speed and strength. Slow means
Game over.
but the Philippines' fastest mobile data network means
Game changing.
choose the network that gives you what you truly enjoy. How do you know about this Giga Life?
Simple and smart ako.
When uncertainty is our reality, we rise above with the things that matter. Gigify happiness. Gigify love. Gigify friendship. Gigify dreams. Gigify hope. With smart Giga music, video, games, work, and stories, we let our passions run free in the new world we face together. Smart, live Giga.
Realme smartphone. Dare to leap.
smarter. Realme, dare to leap.
Don't pay cash. Para may balik bayad ka.
You've got me on the edge.
Legit, right? Not quite. Just like your disposable razor. It's time you switch your disposable razor for your legit first shave so you can be every bit legit. Gillette Mac 3.
Great day, Mobile Legends! Welcome to the biggest mobile tournament in the Philippines, the MPL-PH Season 6 regular season. We're gonna be your casters. I'm your anchor, Shitbo with a one for an eye with my analyst, Rockhart. And of course, we'd like to send the biggest thanks to our sponsor that made this event possible. First up would be our official telco partner, Smart. Forge stronger bonds with your team as you enter the battlefield with Smart Giga Games. Enjoy 1 GB games all day for Mobile Legends, Facebook Gaming, and more. Dial star 123 hash and choose Giga Games 99. We also got our official partner, Realme, the Realme smartphones, who is celebrating their first Realme Fan Fest and hashtag Dare to be Realme campaign. For more information, visit their official page at facebook.com/Realme Philippines. We also got our official sponsor, Gillette. Get up to 50 diamonds with every purchase of Gillette's Mac 3 Razor, Vector 3 Razor, or Blue 3 Simple 4S Pack in select Pure Gold doors nationwide. Hashtag Shave the Day with Gillette. Also, do check out our partner in esports, Pay Maya. Get 7% balik bayad when you purchase your gaming pins via Pay Maya. The better way to pay. Promo runs until August 31. Also, do check out Mobile Legends in TikTok, another partner in esports, to get a chance to win some goodies from MLBB. Our official gaming headset partner, Logitech G, here like a pro, and the MPL-PH Season 6 is powered by Moonton.
All right, we are back here for week 2 of the Mobile Legends Bang Bang Professional League Philippines Season 6, and I have to say, it is going to be one of those exciting weeks where we are going to see something new.
Yes, totally one for the books. Do take note that this broadcast is going to be the English broadcast. You can also check out our Taglish Tagalog broadcast on the official Facebook page and YouTube channel for MLBB. I think that is anchored and analyzed by Butters and Rob Luna with our resident analyst Wolfcast, and things are really getting spiced up on this second week.
It's going to be super spicy. A lot of things are going to change, especially for our teams. So I'm very, very thrilled to see if we're still going to see Yu Zong, if we're still going to see Yi Sun Shin, all those really powerful picks, because now we are entering the 10-ban era.
10-ban era, and that will be adopted until the very end of the MPL-PH Season 6. That is the main headline.
That's right. That's main headline
of today's matches. We got 2 allocated matches for you guys, but first up would be of the Bren Esports and of course the Omega PH Esports squad.
So these guys obviously are headed by some of the biggest corporations, the biggest entities in the Philippines here in terms of
household
esports.
names. They are household names.
Absolutely. So these are some of the teams that have all those organizational the perks. They have coaching staff. They have all the staffing, all of the analysts that they need to survive. But before that, let's have a look at the group standings from the last week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, looking at first For the two teams that will be fighting, we got Bren Esports actually staying on the top 4 with 2 aggregated points. Of course, with just, I think, 1 match
Yeah,
completed.
that's right.
Yes, we got 1 match completed. As for Omega, they also completed 1 match here. Do take note that we just came in from our week 1. It's only just 1 week that has passed for the MPL-PH regular season. So you can expect that this standing will be updated more and more, as those points are not really that high yet.
That's right,
Yeah.
because it's just 1 week, and some of these teams only had 1 match, as you said. So it's not really set in stone yet. A lot of these points are going to be moving up and down as we progress into the week. But something to take note there, on the top is one of the names that have always been in the mid-range and now pushing forward.
Yeah.
Blacklist. Hopefully we'll see a lot of them this week. Some new stuff have been coming out of these teams for quite some time now.
Yeah.
And obviously Bren Esports is still on fighting there.
Yeah,
in
they're
their
actually
position.
on the upper half of this running bracket. Do take note that the number 1 team, that is Blacklist International, actually ended up onto the bottom half back in season 5.
Way back then, yeah.
That was a big surprise when they are able to deliver a massive blow to one of the most hyped teams in the regular season, that is NXP. You know, closing that series 2-0 and even ending 1 series. And that leaves NXP in a bronze tier performance. So there's a lot of discussion going on around about that match. And you know, Blacklist International, I mean, this is going to be a match between Bren Esports and, of course, Omega PH Esports.
Yeah.
But the thing about Blacklist International is they are a team that characterize and introduce themselves, they are a team that introduce themselves who's very willing to actually take risks on very unique drafts of very unique compositions, just so it can counter whatever is the characteristic approach in terms of composition by the enemy team. I do believe that the 10-ban system fits really well onto the approach of Blacklist. The big question is of these powerhouse teams, of these household teams,
Right.
much like Omega here, much like Bren there, and how can they adapt, right?
That's right.
We've seen them playing within the meta heroes. We've seen them taking it to a high level of mastery. And what happens if it gets junked out because of the 10-ban system, right?
That's right. A lot of the players here have some signature heroes that have a lot of they have a lot of mastery over these heroes, right? What happens when teams research these guys?
Yeah.
And then we take that away.
Yeah.
We take that away, and what are you left with? So the teams that are gonna stay on top for sure are gonna be the ones that have a higher number of heroes. Now here, I'll have a look at Bren Esports. A minute to meet them.
Dati ako nag-aaral sa University of Cebu. Pumunta lang ako dito sa Manila para maging pro player.
Pinagsasabay ko yung ML tsaka pag-aaral ko. Nakita ng parents ko yung disiplina ko sa paglalaro at pag-aaral, kaya pinayagan niya ako mag-pro player.
Nag-pro ako kasi nakapasok kami ng MPL Season 2 qualifier, tapos nag-top 3 kami, tapos yun, nagtuloy-tuloy.
Passion ko talaga yung paglalaro. Tsaka nakita ko na sobrang laki talaga ng Mobile Legends dito sa Pilipinas, lalo na yung prize pool tsaka fanbase nila. Tapos nabago ng Mobile Legends yung buhay ko. Sobrang proud sa akin ng magulang ko. Kaya pinush nila na maglaro ako hanggang makaabot ako ng SEA Games.
Mas pinili ko na yung passion ko kaysa sa mag-aaral.
You know, whenever professional players and even new players enter the MPL, they have one reason of joining. They want to prove themselves. They want to prove how great they are, how good they are at playing. And that's the thing about the players here in the Bren Esports squad. They have proven themselves already.
Absolutely.
Most of them are gold medalists coming in from the SEA Games. The very first gold medalists for esports, for Mobile Legends. Not to mention that they've been champions in their own right on their previous teams.
That's right.
And Bren Esports is a brand that already established a legacy here in the Philippines, a lasting legacy actually. And yeah, that's the main reason why I keep on calling them household names. We got here Few, Rebo, Kautzi, Losty, Flapsy, and EJ. The newest addition would be of Flapsy subbing in once Coco has been moved out of the roster and is taking the offlane role.
That's right. And offlane has been proving to be the home, the comfort of FlapTZ for sure. I feel like that's been established already despite that KDA, which looks a little low. But for an offlaner, that's actually pretty awesome
I think
already.
so.
Right? And as
for
you
the solo
mentioned,
laner, right?
for solo laners, right, usually they just get beaten up and become a punching bag.
Yes.
And that's not the case for FlapTZ. Absolutely the opposite or the equivalent role of Carl TZ monstrous in the lane.
Yes.
So,
yes. Cartesi is still established as a clear monster in the hero. Just look at that. Just look at that KDA. Yes, we can have just one game on the sample. Yes, we can just have that week 1. But if you look at Cartesi, you know him. On previous seasons of MPL, has been consistent. Has been the one who's making headlines really on the career. There is a lot of teams to look forward further into what Bren Esports can give. Let's look into Omega.
Nag-aaral ako, tapos sabi ni mama ko, di ko rin kasi pinagbabutihan yung pag-aaral ko, sabi niya. Kung nag-enjoy ka naman sa ML, forsumula lang yung karir mo na pag-ML. So, tinuloy ko yung ML.
Student po ako bago mag-MPL-PH. Sinabi ko po sa parents ko na pag nakapasok po kami ng qualifiers ng MPL, ipupurso ko yung pagiging pro player. Nakag-pro ako kasi nandito na yung opportunity. Pero dati nung season 1, di nila alam yung konti lang yung kinakain namin. Parang chichirya tsaka tubig lang, tapos maghapon kami maglalaro. Tapos magpapataas kami ng rank para may pumansin sa aming mga sponsors.
Sabi ng parents mo, sana nag-aral ka lang.
Those are some heavy topics they mentioned.
Very heavy topics,
Season
right?
1,
Oh my
only
gosh.
eating chips and
Water.
water. And you know how heavy it is because it is real. I'm actually quite familiar on that kind of setup in terms of boot camps, in terms of having esports on its birthing pace.
Yep.
Right?
When
Or
you're not really established
not
yet,
yet established
no
yet,
big
yeah.
entities yet
Yes.
noticing you.
Yeah, becoming a pro player is a very, and can I emphasize that, very big gamble to pursue. And it paid off. It paid
That's
off for them. It paid off for the likes of Hayes, also a gold medalist for the Southeast Asian Games. We got here Kenji Hit, Hajizi, Toshi, Hayes, and Kurt Z composing the MLBB Esports squad. It's going to be Kurt Z as the newest addition for this roster.
Absolutely. So these guys obviously have been through a lot in the past season as well. It's also one of those teams that did not change their roster that much.
Yeah.
So they're kind of really familiar with each other compared to some teams who've added like 2 members, 3 members to their roster.
Yes.
That's a big difference. And will that be enough, though, to fight against a powerhouse like Bren, who I think a lot of our viewers would know Hayes was also part of that squad before?
You know, if you're accounting for Season 5,
yeah,
this match, even in Season 4 actually, this match between Bren and Omega could be called an El Clasico.
That's right.
Because they've been mainstay on the top 4 of the MPL. They're actually at the upper echelon of the rankings for the whole MPL. For the whole MPL. Again, we keep on mentioning these are household names. They've been in the MPL for the longest time. And they were able to adapt. They've shifted between teams, right?
Yep.
For that part. And now we have a biggest change coming into us. Still, it doesn't stop. We got Season 6. We got the crazy 10-ban system that is arriving in our shores. Now, yes, it is true for other MOBAs. There's actually higher ban counts. Yes, they got the 10-ban system right here and there. But again, if you are taking in the shoes of our professional players, it's no joke.
It is no joke.
It is a very big task to really adapt and to really make the most and be ahead of the curve as everyone would adjust for the 10-ban system.
Yeah, I mean, we hype it up so much, and some people would be wondering, why are you so hyped about this change?
I mean,
it's just 2 extra heroes that we're removing.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
But when you think about it, a
No.
lot of the teams have been repeating these lineups for the
Yes.
course of years or months,
Yeah.
right? And what happens when you destroy that? What happens
Yeah.
when you mess up that equilibrium?
Yes.
A lot of things can change. Remove one main hero from a core lineup, and that could spell disaster for some teams. So how will they adapt it will definitely come into play here. That's gonna happen today. That's for every team for them to find their rhythm back with a different set of heroes.
I actually want to analyze this. I actually want to break this down, There are so many analysts out there. I mean, even the deeper ones, the deepest ones. Like, so many good analysts out there. But what I love doing is breaking it down into a very, very digestible manner.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know?
That's what we
Not
do.
simpler, but simple. I mean, some would think that having the 10-ban system would be just an addition of 2 bans for you, but no, it is not. No, it is not. Again, if you are accounting for the whole pool of MLBB, if you're accounting for the whole pool of MLBB, ladies and gentlemen, there is just a very few heroes that are really within the active meta. So I'm pertaining to because the active meta, the meta keeps on changing, like maybe in a span of 3 weeks to a month, right? So if you can observe here, look at that unique heroes pick from
That's
these two
a
teams.
big thing.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Look at that. So that's 42. That's 33. Actually, I'm not so sure about the count, but I think 42 is not yet even the half number of all the heroes still
No.
of
Yeah.
MLBB. I think we're touching around 80 plus already, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very close.
So now the thing here is that if you're accounting for the unique heroes pick, yes, they get 42, you get 33. And within the active meta, on average, I would dare say that going back into the previous metas, hero choices bounce around 20?
More
20,
around
well,
around
plus or
that,
minus, around
especially
that
in
number.
season 1.
Yeah.
Remember in season 1, I think it was like 12 to 15
Yes,
heroes
yes,
that
yeah,
our
we
players
could
had
say,
to choose
yeah.
between.
Yes,
So
yes.
these amounts of these hero picks, I think in this stat
Yeah.
line especially, this head-to-head, that's the biggest
Yeah.
number.
Now, if you got around that kind of average number of hero within the active meta, that's 20. If you're adding 2 more onto the ban, so that leads us with 5 bans, right? That leads us with 5 bans. But remember that you cannot also play the ban of the enemy team.
That's right, exactly. Because
So
they picked it out. They pick it out.
They pick it out. So
Exactly.
that's not just 5 heroes removed from your pool by yourself. That's also 5 heroes removed from the pool by the enemy team. And you have to account the heroes chosen by the enemy team as well.
That's right.
So that's
'Cause
another
you
5.
also cannot pick those.
Obviously.
Pro tip.
Yeah.
Pro tip from Shinwood, you cannot pick
Obviously.
the heroes
Right?
that your enemy picks.
Right? So that's a total of 15. That's a total of 15 heroes in every cycle that you cannot really choose.
That's
All right. I mean, you can choose them. That depends on the cycle. That depends on the adaptation. But there is a heavy requirement now to really increase your hero pool. That's what we want to mention.
Exactly.
Because if your hero pool revolves only around 20 per team, oh my God.
Yep.
You're gonna be limped.
And this is the time where you will notice those players that only have like 2 to 3
Yes,
heroes that
yes.
only keep changing between those number of
Yeah.
heroes. They will be read so easily.
Yes.
And on this head-to-head though, that's what I'm wondering about Flapteasy and Curteasy.
Yeah. Yes, because so far they're actually in a good spot. They're the side lane, they're the off lane for this. And if you're accounting, if my opinion actually is one of the widest pool right now for MLBB would be of the side lane.
Absolutely.
Like anyone can go into the not anyone, but we have a good amount of side lane heroes. Speaking of side lane, I'm speaking of off lane.
That's right. I think
And
the
side lane
newest
at the same
heroes is also a side lane hero, right?
Yeah. We
The
got Khalid
upcoming
there.
heroes,
You can
yeah.
even roll out a Changu on the side lane.
Oh, you do this, right?
Yes.
You do this.
Usually, back in the very old days, you got Gushon rolling for the main carry for the mid lane. It's now also very and quite required to be on the side lane as well,
That's
along
true.
with Esmeralda for that part. I think the lowest pool that we have right now would be of the tank. Right.
Yeah, I think in the tank role, how many? Well, let's count. We
Yeah.
can count here, right?
Yeah,
we count
yeah.
on their hand. Uranus.
Uranus.
You have the Atlas,
Atlas,
Kufra.
Kufra. That's actually that's it.
Oh my gosh.
That's it.
Literally 3.
Yeah, that's it. I
main
mean,
tanks.
Grak has fallen out of the meta.
Absolutely.
Before the 10-ban system, and we're actually expecting him to be reinstated right now on
yeah,
the new bans
especially
that
if
we
those 3 get banned
have. Yeah,
out.
I think those 3.
Expect that Akai
Yeah.
maybe sometimes
Yes.
if Chakra is
I think
very
it would be
happy,
very
Venator-
ridiculous on the 10-ban system that a Uranus will pop out.
No, it's not gonna happen.
Atlas
No.
probably. All right.
That's
I
gone.
mean, we could also see Farsa and the Selena saying goodbye. I mean, some of us has taken the statement that Farsa is the best support right now.
Best support.
Yes, seconded by the Selena. But just accounting for that is
Loyi is sad. Why
I
did
want
you
to-
not mention Loyi?
I mean,
He's
Loyi
so
is
sad
really
now.
good. Loyi is really good. I think Loyi ranks. I'm actually thinking that it is gonna be Farsa number 1 and Loyi number 2.
That's true. That's true.
Even higher than Selena, in my opinion. But for the tank position, for this featured matchup, we got the courtesy. We got a fighter versus fighter matchup. But I actually want to account on the part where we have a lot still on the fighter position,
Yeah.
right?
And
But it
sometimes-
can be that still some meta fighter heroes, especially on the offlane, will be removed. I don't expect the Yuzong to be seen anymore.
Yeah,
right?
no more Yuzong because
Yeah.
obviously just so powerful. Despite
Yes.
the nerfs in the
Yes,
recent
yes,
patch,
yes,
still
yes.
so powerful.
Despite the nerfs, guys. Despite the nerfs there. There is
It
something.
doesn't feel like a nerf.
Yeah, there is something that can be abused on the Yuzong, and from the looks of it, it's not yet fixed.
That's
right.
true. So also, aside from that, since we are lacking in tanks, expect some of these teams to also adapt some fighters to turn them into tanks.
Yeah.
The Famous is one prime example of one of those heroes
Yeah.
that can become such a tanky hero technically a fighter, but
You
can
know,
sustain a lot of
actually,
damage.
for being critical of how low the pool of tank heroes are, there are only just 2 because Uranus is well, he's a tank, but he starts as an offlane.
That's
you know?
true. That's
Right.
true. He is like
He's
a
not
main,
the support tank.
He's not the main tank
He's
who's
not
gonna join
really the
you
main
when you're
tank.
roaming.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
basically just a tower,
Yeah.
like a wall on the top lane or bot lane. Right?
Yes, I'm actually excited of how the Hilda may pay off.
Oh,
I
that's
believe
big.
that Hilda might be one of the headline heroes for this. And we have
Ooh.
the official live feed from the boot camp. I think I'm allowed to say this.
You
I think
are,
I'm
you
allowed
are.
to say this. We actually installed CCTV.
Yeah.
Like
In
our
their
own
specific
in their
rooms.
specific
Yeah,
boot camps,
there
in
you
their
go, right
specific
there.
rooms, in their specific gaming rooms. So
Designated.
those are cameras that comes in from us, from the organizers, ladies and gentlemen,
That's
just to make sure that the integrity of these games are brought into the highest level.
Yeah, none of
No
that.
worries of the
of
ghosting issues, you know,
ghosting, piloting,
yes,
nothing.
on some tournaments, you know, some other tournaments,
Yeah.
but here you can have the confidence that everyone is really playing as they are, and not to mention they are playing at the safety of their homes.
Yeah,
right?
safety and comfort. Look at
And the
these
comfort
guys.
of their homes,
They
yeah,
look
totally.
so comfortable
Yes,
right now. I
yes.
wish I could do that.
Yeah, actually, Manjin mentions that is what they call the pro player.
The pro player pose.
Pro player
Yeah,
position.
Pro player position.
Yes, we also have the feed here coming in from the Bren Esports bootcamp.
That's right.
Yeah, we got AJ there and also Coach Ducky running in. Is that is that the one holding coaching for Omega PH or Arcadia?
I think no, for Omega I think it
It's
might
Dale?
be, yeah, I think Dale.
It's Dale.
is-
It's
yeah.
still Dale. All right.
So I think they
Is
really
that
are.
Dale? I mean, Dale has gotten some weight. I don't know. That's
I know.
Dale.
Yeah,
Oh, I
there you
couldn't
go.
get anywhere. I thought the one with the mask was Dale, because
No.
I remember Dale to be a little
really
bit thin.
a bit,
Yeah.
you know. And
Right.
you know what? The quarantine's really taking.
Yeah,
a toll on
and
a lot of
we
us.
just want to emphasize to you guys, the guy. We just want to emphasize to you guys, our viewers, the guy in the glasses there is the Southeast Asian Games coach as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's gold. He's got his own.
Yeah,
gold
he is
medal.
also a gold medalist, ladies and gentlemen. He's the one who led the team along with Coach Panda into
That's
victory
right.
for the Southeast Asian Games. I mean,
Master drafter.
yes, it's
The
really a
master
master drafter, and we'll see about these two coach.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
10-man system between the two coach, Ducky and Dale.
Man, the battle of the minds.
The battle of the
right?
minds.
The
Yeah,
battle
yeah.
of the minds. I like it. They should have renamed this whole fight
Yeah.
into that.
Yeah, so for your information, guys, what we have here, the one on the mask is Coach Ducky.
Yep.
So
Very chill.
yeah,
He's
totally
been
chill.
he's always been known as one of the most overthinking coaches
Yeah.
of the MPL.
doesn't want to miss out on any detail actually.
by the numbers.
By the numbers, always
right?
go by the numbers.
Always goes by the numbers.
Yes.
So that's one of the strengths I
that
think
is
of
work
Bren.
as well with other teams.
Yeah, not
Internationally,
just
right?
internationally.
Yeah, internationally. I
Right?
think for the EVOS, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's been imported and
Yeah.
exported over and over again, guys. This guy has a lot of experience
He
on his
did.
belt, which is being utilized very well by Bren Esports. And I have to say that, of course, that's going to be one of the main strengths as well of these teams.
Mhm.
Maximum caliber drafters.
Yeah.
A
yes.
perfect intro to a new
Yeah.
era of a lot of heroes getting banned out. So their minds are going to get stretched to its
Yes.
limits, thinking
Yes.
about which heroes to pick for their players.
I mean, guys, sorry, we apologize if we keep on lingering about the 10-man system because that's really the biggest headline here.
It really is.
And we all know how important it is on the highest level of play drafting is, right?
Yeah, it is.
And what I want to mention here is it's not just the 10-man system. It's not just the denial of heroes. It's not just of the new heroes getting introduced for the professional play just because we get the 10-man system, but also of the drafting sequence.
Yes.
Again, drafting sequence is very, very important. That's a word. That's actually like if you go into a war.
Yeah.
It's like those mini skirmishes where you send in vanguards, where you send in spies, where you send in scouts.
Mhm.
That's one of the best example to actually describe a draft. It's actually the
Absolutely.
first part of the war.
It's something that a lot of us
It's
take
getting
for
intel.
granted.
It's getting intel. It's getting
Yes.
info. And sometimes
Recon.
sometimes in the war of intelligence, you can bait your opponents, right?
That's right. I mean, you can kind of fake an
Yeah.
attack. You
Yeah.
can fake a strategy.
Yeah.
You can look like you're doing something, but
Yes.
then you do something else.
Yes, and because of the 10-ban system, you could lead the opponent into thinking into something, waiting for them to react just with the draft.
That's
Just with the draft. That's why it is very, very important. That's why when you try to break down the draft, you just don't account for what counters what. You need to account for the drafting sequence.
Yeah, whatever comes first
Yes,
usually
whatever
would
comes
already give information to your enemy.
Yes, on the
what you
4th
pick first.
yeah.
For example, if you prioritize your tanks,
Yes.
you already know that, oh my gosh, my enemy is gonna start picking up those really big hitters like a Yu Sun-Shin. If it,
Yes.
For example, if Yu Sun-Shin gets left out,
Yes.
obviously that's gonna be the target.
Yes, yeah, and it's not just the pick that you will be dictating after the ban. The pick can also dictate the bans.
Exactly.
For that. So we'd like to take this opportunity with you guys there in the chat, in all of our broadcast channels, that you do the draft with us.
Yes,
You do-
that's a
you-
great
I think
idea.
it would be very fun. You try to deduce the draft with us, because this is gonna be the first. Well, we did play a simulation game, testing out the 10-band system, but I think it would be nice if you could do the draft with us. I think this is because on that simulation game, it's actually the draft was trash.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
That was,
I mean,
that was yesterday.
that was-
It's totally not in pro play. It's not well thought out.
Yeah.
But here on the level, this is gonna be our first time
First ever.
seeing the 10-band system work in an MPL environment, and I think it would be very, very nice to really have like a little prediction game on the draft.
You
right?
can do that, guys. You can
Yeah.
do that. You can comment
Yeah.
whatever
Join
you
us.
think is
Yeah.
going to be banned
The
out.
next one
What's
to be
gonna
banned.
the
out. What
top
will be the
picks?
openers? Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. I want to mention the 10-band setup, by the way. The sequencing for the 10-band setup. So we will have two banning phase
Yes.
still, right? One for each. But the first rollout of bans would be 3.
That's right.
Not MR
First
2 for
three.
2. First
Like,
3. So that would
it
be a
used to
total of 6.
2-1. Now
Yes.
it's 3-2.
3-2. So what we will have is 6 bans outright.
Yes.
Then we'll have the picks roll in, and again another ban. First 3 picks per team, no? Then
First
another
3
ban.
picks.
We will have 2 bans each. Then we will have the final 2 picks again for the teams. It's kind of easy to understand.
Quite easy, actually. If you think about it, it's just almost like the normal bans in ranked games.
Yes.
You just add one more to the first phase, and you add one more to the second
Yes,
phase.
yes.
That's all
Yes.
there is to it, and
Yes.
a lot of that is going to come into play
Yeah.
on the first 3, because that's basically the
Yeah.
whole.
Actually, we can start Yuri crafting on that part. You know what?
That's a good
I mean, there will be an early priority on carries, in my opinion.
I think so, because
Because
that's
no more saving your carries.
absolutely.
Actually.
Because usually you would see that, right? Last pick would be your primary core.
Yeah.
And then you have to you usually draft out your
Yeah.
supports first.
Actually, we're seeing carries on second cycle of picks,
Most of
first
it,
pick,
yeah.
then second cycle. But I kind of feel that no more of those days that we'll be seeing carries by the 4th pick.
No,
or
no,
fifth pick,
not
something like that.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
And you know what? Our screens are changing. That's
No
a little
problem.
bit of a signal
No worry
that
about
we
it.
might get into the draft
Yeah.
soon. So hope you guys are ready for this. And here we go,
Here we
man.
go, here we go.
History is in
Here
the
we go.
making.
At last, Yuzong, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot but feel that we'll have the Uranus be removed as well.
Yep.
But with the Yuzong ban here on the side of Omega, I think Bren should be banning the YSS.
Yeah, YSS is
Yes.
definitely one of those heroes that is a big pain to deal with.
But look at this. I forgot. Sorry for that. They don't need to ban the YSS. They get the first pick. They get the first pick advantage here.
Right.
So
exactly.
that might be it. Bren
Are they
Esports
gonna
might be
risk it?
eyeing for on showing the YSS early.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, you get the Yuzong ban already. You
Yeah,
get the
one of
Yuzong already
those,
removed.
one
right.
of those counters to the Yuzong is because
Yes.
if the YSS can't disengage on the first try, you're
Yeah.
gonna go down.
Unless Bren Esports has a different first priority pick. That's the thing. If Bren Esports doesn't ban the YSS, then and doesn't prioritize picking the YSS, that would be an easy pick as well for Omega.
Yep, and absolutely, like you mentioned, one of the top tier supports.
Yeah.
I would say Class S
Yeah.
support is gonna be Selena.
Yeah.
Banned out already.
Look at that. I think they're targeting Heath here. And now Bren Esports doesn't want to deal with. We're talking about this like the two best
talked
supports
about
really
it,
into the game.
yeah,
We
we
got
talked about
Farsa,
it.
we got Selena. Now let's see here for the side of Omega if they will be banning the YSS. I think Omega is also meaning that they don't believe Bren Esports would be prioritizing
Yeah.
in first picking the YSS.
This
and
is a
that's
big
why,
decision.
Yeah, there's gonna be a big decision for the first 6 bans.
So if they
And we have a
don't
very
ban it-
eerie background music, huh?
I know it's so tense.
So tense.
Oh my gosh, like, we gotta chill a little bit because it is a big impact ban. If they don't ban it out and they give it away, that means they might have to adjust their draft into dealing with it.
To
So
dealing with
here
it.
we go. Bren Esports, will they go
I
for
forgot
that
about
YSS?
I forgot about the Khalid.
Oh my
I would
gosh.
admit I forgot about the Khalid for that part. But YSS is now open. Uranus, you'd have to choose.
Oh, there
Uranus
they
will be
go. They
chosen,
went
ladies
for
and gentlemen. They went for the Uranus. Very, very stable. But Esmeralda YSS might be an option here for the side of Omega.
With that second pick, they have 2 picks there,
Yeah.
guys.
Or Roger.
Hilda.
Ooh, I see.
Wow.
All right, they're not being obvious.
Yep.
They believe that they could still delay the YSS. There's still a lot of option on the carry role. You could still go with the Roger. You still go with the Roger.
This is a
let's
team
see.
that can
I think the Hilda
work
is
well
good.
with the Roger.
Yeah, I think the Hilda is good because with this kind of lineup, usually Uranus compositions tries to roll with very squishy supports.
That's true.
Because they want to put the tank position into the off lane, onto the side lane.
And they also want to maximize all the damage output
Yeah.
that can be provided by those supports. So you have a very
think-
solid frontline
Yeah.
wall, but it doesn't have crowd
Let's
control.
see. Let's see if this is a Valier now for
Valier.
for the side of Bren Esports, or
Yep.
will that be too early?
Cho and Chang'e, no Valier.
Very interesting on the
These
jungle.
are very, very new drafts. That
Yeah.
you're gonna expect a lot of errors from
Yeah.
our drafting because again, these are what we're talking about is all hypothetical. Right?
Yes, yes.
So Ling, I'm surprised it went through.
Yeah. So what they want is to actually make sure that Bren Esports wouldn't be comfortable in choosing the YSS.
That's true.
The Cho would be support.
Obviously,
Lasty
this
Cho,
is going
yeah.
to be one of those support shows that it's not no longer those Blade of Despair shows. It's gonna be a show that's gonna that's gonna go with the Chang'e most of the time
Yeah.
and roam around, become a tank support mostly, or
Yeah.
try to be a tank.
All right, they're gonna be removing the Lancelot, not eyeing onto the Roger. You can actually, I'm not so sure about the Hayabusa. Was he touched by the patch?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Right. Get the Lancelot. I think it is a really good ban from Omega here. Kind of that feel that Omega now has a better control of this ban. Bren Esports could actually start targeting the tanks.
I
mean the side lane. They could actually. Oh no! They can ban Valier. Yeah, they can ban. They're now targeting the support. They're now targeting the utility support. They're removing the Cyclops here. Really good. No problem for Lusty to just go in and out.
That's right, and it's gonna allow Hajizi to become a little bit of a threat still. I feel like that might have been something that you can use to lock down the lane, but they don't want to go with that way, and it also will kind of slow down the Hajizi.
So yeah,
role
they did remove the Hayabusa
because of the lack of the star power lockdown.
Yes,
So
and yeah, what they want is the. They're very willing to give away the YSS, and I think that's
so.
no problem. I think if
If you
YSS is
pick
chosen
that,
by Bren Esports, it will be
man, that's gonna die to the lane.
that's gonna die to the
Yeah,
lane.
for
Yeah,
sure.
even
So-
the Esmeralda actually.
Okay, so very tanky lineup still for Omega, I would say. I think they want to go for that.
Yeah, I mean that's
triple bruiser
Esmeralda
lineup.
against Uranus.
Yeah,
that's Esmeralda
that's
against
so
Uranus,
easy
yeah.
to deal with. Even the Cho's not going to be able to use that Shunpo shield against this guy. So they want to, again, as Bren Esports did ban out the X-Board, they're trying to hit on the side lanes a lot more, like you mentioned before. So the picks on the side lanes will kind of matter.
I think Valier is very risky here again for Omega if they choose it.
Yeah, that's not gonna have a fun time because you
Yeah.
have a Chang'e on the
Yeah.
on the enemy team.
Yes, you get Lusty in as well.
Yeah.
On the Cho.
So range is gonna be a thing here.
We will have a
for
very
Omega.
unique support here.
For sure, for
PNK,
sure.
but I'm not so sure. PNK.
I like the lockdown. I like the crowd control for Popol and Koopa,
But yeah, I
it-
think the dog will be easily deleted.
it will die immediately.
It will die immediately.
Yeah.
All right, that's
Loy!
Loy. Yeah,
Alright.
they could go for the flank. All right.
It's gonna be one of those engages where you don't wanna fully commit until all of the duality procs have been activated.
Yes.
And that's a very viable.
But you have to be careful with the Cho. You have to be careful with the Cho. Now let's wait for the utility support here of Bren Esports. And what will be the main carry here? Because I'm expecting the Chango to be onto the side lane.
For sure. It's never going to be a carry
gonna be a
channel.
carry or
Only
support.
we do that on our
Yeah.
team, right? Only we do
Hey,
the carry channel.
we're doing the Selena funnel. But,
Yeah.
You know, when I play Chango, I play side lane, okay? I always I give way to Manji.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Are you sure? I feel like you're always getting resources from Manji whenever we play. But sure, I believe you. Here we go. Like I said, Claude, finally, because of the buff on the patch and the lacking of those big burst heroes, finally Claude is back in the
yes,
MPL.
Yes. Wow. One of the biggest comeback.
Biggest comebacks,
One of the biggest manifestations of the 10-ban system. We got Claude in for the main carry, and that's scary position here for Bren Esports. And that's Kurt Z Carl Z Claude. Ladies and gentlemen,
that's
Carl
scary.
Z. Carl Z Claude.
Very, very scary,
Yes.
man.
Let's hear what would be one of the off lane here. What would be the off lane for Omega? Also lacking in off lane. You know,
Very much.
you cannot choose a Masha here.
Nope, nope.
Oh, no Yuzong? Oh my god.
Okay, well, let's think about it.
We'll have a very unique off lane here.
Unless they push the Hilda to the off lane, but looks like it's gonna be a Jawhead.
Alright.
It's a bit of a risky, I would say it's a risky pick.
It's very risky in my opinion. I mean,
considering-
Jawhead might struggle against the Chango.
It will. It will struggle against Changa. It's gonna
With the
have a
big
hard
clashes,
time surviving against Uranus and against a FAMS and if
Yeah.
they go 1v1.
Yeah.
So I wish they picked something a little bit more tankier in that offlane position, but
Yeah.
they can probably try to roam around.
Something with very hard engage, but I'm not so sure. Options are very nil.
Yeah, I know. It's so thin.
Close to nil. Yeah,
I can't even think about a good offlane anymore. That's
Yeah.
why they went to the Jawhead probably.
Yeah.
So based on the draft here, Shinbu, I would say we are in for a pretty big roller coaster because this lineup from Omega doesn't even look like it's ready for 1-3-1.
The Jawhead is good. By the way, I just realized Loyi.
Again,
Loyi Jawhead
yeah,
combination.
it's
I
a
think
great
that
combo.
might be a good combo. Yeah, for that
But
part.
again, the problem with combos is that they rely a lot
Yeah.
on
Execution.
perfect execution.
Yes, and of course
Perfect
the,
execution all
the,
the
the
time.
enemy team anticipates it.
For true,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
As
yeah.
long as you see them both on the same lane,
Yes, yes.
you know that everyone's
That's an
gonna
option.
run away.
Yeah, that's an option.
Yeah.
That's the thing about combos, guys. They're telegraphed, you know. Quite easy to predict. But let's see. This is where the pro in pro player comes in.
That's right.
What's your prediction?
And I'm predicting a very big, a very stable game here
Yeah.
for Bren Esports
Yeah.
and a very explosive one here for Omega. Let's get into the match here for game
Hey,
one.
you didn't predict for a team.
Oh, I didn't predict for a team. Okay, it's Bren. I think Bren's gonna take this.
Yeah,
early game.
I'm voting for Bren as well.
Yeah, for
I think
sure.
as long as the combo is not completed onto Omega, Bren is a very stable comp.
Yeah, absolutely.
In my opinion,
They're gonna last until the late
yeah.
game.
If you're
very
Esmeralda, it's very hard to catch the Claude.
Yeah, especially in the hands of Carl Teasy, one of the youngest prodigies of this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're in this, and I'm already thinking about the farm of Hajis. I'm already looking at the pathing. You know, where is this lane gonna go to? But
Yeah.
looks like Fuse gonna have a hard time pushing out early game damage as they are getting hit on by Omega.
Yeah, but remember, the one who did the reaction here was Bren there very quick. Not just one, make that two. Goes for the dive here, done in by Rebo. And yes, that's 2 for 0. Quick onto the side of Bren.
Yeah, absolutely no problem for Bren. It looked very effortless. I mean, maybe they kind of forced Few to go a little further, just so it can become a little bit of a bait.
Yeah.
But it didn't become such a big problem for
I
them.
totally understand how Flapsy respond there, and also Rebo, right? Because their life are pretty low, right? Their life are pretty low on that part, and that's already a given that you will respond onto the mid lane. I'm just surprised that they really did commit to go for kills.
Yeah.
I thought they just want to even out the health here, and man,
You know the
that's
thing
quick cash in for Bren.
The thing about that is they didn't even have that super long stun. They did not have hard crowd control. So it was just Omega willingly fighting into the slows.
Yeah.
Of Bren Esports.
And durability, by the way.
And the
Of
durability.
the
absolutely.
Uranus.
The Uranus.
And,
You cannot
Thames,
do
yeah.
anything about that Uranus.
Yeah.
For now.
Especially once the Uranus starts spinning. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be a big problem here. Does HGC have the buff?
I don't think so. I feel like he's just missing out on a lot.
Ah, he got the purple. He got the purple.
That's
All right.
fine. So we are in here for another big one in the mid lane.
They're dancing around. There goes Guard Z. BMI in. Kites back onto hit. And the hit will be burned here by the members of Bren.
Yeah, Bren Esports looking a little bit more comfortable here
Yeah.
with their draft, as we kind of predicted. They have that steady draft that doesn't actually rely too much on combo pieces.
Yeah, you know, it's a composition that's quite easy to understand. You have durability in the front line. You have mobility for the back line against a Ling.
That's it.
And you have very solid wave clear. You have very solid pressure.
Yeah,
you
you know this.
Yeah.
You know this Chang'e can clear waves without a problem.
Yes.
And they will not. It's going to be very difficult for Omega to make a push.
Yeah. And if you're coming in from the front, enter through the front door, it's very impossible for Omega. You have to go through the Thames, you have to go to the Uranus, and you have to deal with the Chango ultimate.
Yep. Looking fun here. They're having a lot of fun, no? Bren Esports looking like they are just clearing waves, going to the side right after. And that's the power of their composition. I expect Carl TZ to be really, really strong here in this game at around 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah, they surely will lose this turtle. The juggle here for Bren is quite wise. They have their buffs up. for the turtle fight. Just in time for it to be expired. And I think they will still try to commit. There is the flickering done by Lusty. Way of the Dragon also delivered towards the face of Genji. As a few kites back, Curtsy swings in. Had JZ along with Flapsy. Lots of Y in their names. But that's it. That's the death delivered against that lane. And of course, answered for by his teammates. They exchanged the attempts 1-for-1 overall.
Okay, that was a little bit too deep for me, for Flapteasy. Maybe he got a little too excited. There wasn't even any big dying members on Omega, so they're going to pay for that with a little bit of a kill. But overall, I don't think Rebo's going to go down here.
Yeah. I mean, it's just providing vision. It's now establishing pressure. No lanes to worry, really, because the top lane side is already pushed.
Already wiped out so well.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show the power of Bren Esports on these side lanes.
Yeah, man. I'm not so sure. Things are looking so gloomy here for Omega.
Yep.
And ideally, you would want to take some few kills early for the lane.
At least, right? Especially with that killing spree emblem. You're not utilizing it if you're not getting kills.
Yes. Oh my god. That's a lot of damage onto few.
Oh my gosh. And right now, Lusty, he doesn't even need that fighter emblem anymore. He's going to go for a lot of damage here. On the heap, he goes down really
They're
quick.
very much willing to take the control of Hit here. Doesn't have to worry about the durabilities from the Hilda. It's Lusty fully focusing his ultimate onto a support tank. Now for the backline, Flavzy close in towards Hayes. Kurtzy also saying goodbye. And what do you see? Nothing coming in from Omega.
Yeah, you know what I'm seeing, Shinbu? Nothing as well coming from Kenji. He is trying to farm while the rest of his team is getting slaughtered.
Yeah.
They might be allocating the wrong people to the wrong lanes. Because if I had the Jawhead on my team, I would ask that Jawhead to just go and help stop, throw people away, eject people away from the fight.
Eject people away from the fight. Actually, what you can just eject would be the Uranus or the Chober. My problem here is that, I mean, Pew has been getting down with a lot of pressure against them. Kurt Z goes for the backup. Actually, Carl Z goes for the backup and goes for the kill on Kurt Z. And SB gets destroyed easily by the Claude.
That had a lot of rhymes in it.
Man.
I like it. These teams really seem like they're built for each other, you know? So we are here we are 9-1 in the kill score with a almost 6K deficit here.
Almost 6K on the deficit. Yeah, this is, we cannot sugarcoat it. This is clearly a one-sided game. And again, I just want to emphasize onto few. Yes, guys, Chango can be countered by hard engage heroes.
Yeah.
But again, if the engage is completed, if you are not engaging the Chango, she will be just dropping, meteor missiles to you.
Over and over
meteor
and
shower
over
just
again.
on the first kill should be
Look
enough.
at Lusty!
Look at Lusty feeding his fit onto the members here of Omega. Cool follow-up onto Pew. Nice counter there onto the dispersion by Hayes. Still not gonna be enough though to defend this inner mid lane turret.
Man, you know what? When we came into this day, Lusty said we thought Lusty's gonna be like, oh, no more Kufra, no more Grok for Lusty. What's he gonna do? Apparently, Lusty is one of those guys that have a lot of hidden picks in his pocket.
And apparently, still our pro players still does not check that brush on the side lane. Always, nobody checks it.
I don't know why. That's been that's been a sickness of a lot of our pro players.
Yes,
right?
yes. If there's one thing that characterizes MPL-PH, that side lane brush, guys. Nobody checks it.
Yep. For the meantime, again, a lot of our especially Bren Esports right now, so happy with the results. Even oh my gosh,
my God, with a sticker into the face, forced the flicker out against Hit. Kurt Z to the front line, knocking here under the inhibitor turret of Omega. They just want the minions came in, and Bren here not actually pushing, just waiting for the minions. Goes for the inhib, bitter turret here down for the mid, and Curl Z and GC gets hurt as delivered in from the meteor shower of View.
Yeah, meteor shower is just so strong, especially if it's from one of those farmer, especially if it's from Few, that did not get disrupted the whole game.
Yes.
Only skills for them.
Yes. I mean, there's a Jawhead. There's a lot of engaged heroes here, but that's the problem. This is a well-fitted composition. Lusty here, at least he did some nice position there to actually get the kick down, but of course he got punished quickly. Still, pressure from Bren.
Problem.
Textbook approach. They removed the top lane inhib. Gonna be removing this mid lane inhib.
We don't even have the Lord yet, and they want to finish the game
They can
already.
finish the game. They have a well-fed Claude. That's down to Curtsy. This game 1 will be into the pockets of victory for Bren Esports.
So, Shinbu, let's talk about that a little bit. It's not even 8 minutes. What does this remind you of?
Well,
This
it's
reminds me something of way back then. I remember
season 1,
season
Bren.
1.
Season 1,
right?
Bren. Actually curious.
Wow.
Kind of but feel that Bren will be winning really on the competition. I feel like Kenji was forced onto that jawhead. Yeah, onto that jawhead. The 10-ban system, guys.
Guys, so you know, you
It's
guys can see
now manifesting itself.
what we're talking about, right? This is what we're talking about. These teams
Yeah.
are going to have so many big adjustments, and we saw the first one
Yeah.
by Bren Esports picking up the Claude
Yes.
to make up for that lack of damage output from Yisan Shin
Yes.
from Yuzong.
You have a lot of pressure.
So much
You got
pressure.
Uranus. I feel like I'm very curious why Uranus actually got through.
I know.
Right?
3 bans and Uranus got through. I don't
mean,
know.
if you're planning on choosing the link, then
It
maybe
makes
just ban the
sense.
Uranus.
Yeah.
But the main reason is they really want to maybe bait it in, burn the first pick of Bren, so that they could choose the Esmeralda, confident with the Esmeralda. But Losty here is really good, the guy, we actually got some information on Losty that, again, Losty feels very confident.
He does. And he
Feels
looks
very
confident.
Yeah, feels very confident on this MPL because the way he approached this MPL is that he has nothing to prove.
Absolutely.
Has
I
proven
got
himself already.
these medals on me.
Yeah, he
You
can
know?
experiment. Let's see what is the insights coming in from Wolf.
Esports. We did say that this will go down the wire when it comes to drafting, when it comes to showing us yung mga picks na hindi na natin nakikita sa meta and what a treat it is. I like the development of the draft. Even yung mga bans natin coming out from the teams. I like also na nakuha dito yung Claude. If you don't know, kung nabis mo yung draft, Uranus was first picked from Bren Esports, and it kind of allowed us to have that Claude to parang gumanda yung kanyang status sa ating laban. Bakit? Kasi hindi na siya ganun ka-problemado. If you're looking at the lineup of Omega, sino ba magiging problema lang sa Claude? I honestly think only the Hilda when it comes to dealing with damage, and of course the control coming out from the Joed because of that knockup. But aside from that, there's not much that can actually contest etong Claude natin when it comes to farming and when it comes to killing in the team fights. And obviously, the napakabilis na ating laban na hindi tayo masyado pwedeng mag-focus dun sa items. One last thing lang na gusto kong sabihin is Few, after picking up this mask, we can honestly say that Few is now playing as a support, quote-unquote support, for Bren Esports. Well, he did not pick up the mask as early as possible. Hindi siya yung instant na kapag kakuha ni Lusty, kinuha niya agad. I think maybe Few nakuha pa niya in 5 minutes na yung second mask ng Bren Esports, which allowed Few to be, how do I say this, very impactful in the early game team fights. Now let's look at the additional stats natin na post game, and you can notice how impactful nga yung stat line dito ni Few, kasi eventually you're gonna notice the damage output coming out from Few is actually incredibly high. You can see this, although kay Cartesi majority ng ating damage as a support, when you're dealing as this much against your opponents, you already know na impactful ka as a support, and we may see a lot of support mages all throughout our MPL Season 6. Although, last week naman, madami na tayo nakitang support mages, and even last season, ngayon makikita tayo ng variety. Like, we are gonna see Chang-O for sure. Louis is there. Meron kang makikitang mga Farsa lang na naban sila. Cyclops even, di ba? Nababan na siya mismo. Farsa, I think, is top priority for the teams, and Bren Esports has showed us a little bit of change-up, showing us this Chang-O in a supporting role. Now, when we're looking at the Omega side, nahirapan din sila sa early game just because of the damage output na meron ang Bren. If you're looking at their lineup, very good sana yung kanilang early game individually, but you put them all together against the lineup of Bren Esports, doon na tayo nagkakaroon ng problema. Maybe we can see during the highlights what I want to mention about their strength in the team fights. I want to say a little bit of pause here. A lot of emphasis wala sa Bren Esports into dealing damage even in the laning stage pala. Nakita nyo, nagbubuo sila ng skills para nga naman ma-zone out yung kalaban, and look at that flicker coming out from the Uranus. So much emphasis on the early game damage. So, I always talk about early game damage as important kasi kanina din na nung inaaral namin yung playstyle ng Bren Esports, ang laki nung emphasis nila sa pagpapababa ng HP ng kalaban even when it's just the laning stage. Minsan nga, kung mapapansin nyo, bakit hindi nakakapag-invade or hindi nakakuha ng buffs ang isang team, it's majority because of the fact na yung HP nila hindi na ganun kataas as compared to the start of the match. And I think Bren Esports eventually have abused this factor. Omega, when they didn't have that much control of the first round of buffs, dun na lumakas yung strength ng Bren Esports in the early stages. No, why did I write this up? Because again, emphasis of Bren Esports. In the fight that we saw between Bren Esports and Omega, walang big team fights na nangyari. Walang parang 5v5 na sobrang lupit doon sa kung saan marami na silang items going up against each other and trying to outplay each other. Because you know, the outplay mula sa Bren Esports started in the early stages. And honestly, we can see more from this from Bren Esports. If we're looking at Omega, I think yun yung kailangan nila i-fix dito laban sa Bren. Kasi tapos na yung sa draft Kaya na nila yun Omega as well as Bren Esports, very good when it comes to drafting. But when, if Omega really wants to win in game number 2 and force game 3, kailangan nila i-fix yan. Girl TZ 4-0 and 5 are MVP of the game with this Claude. Napakaaga niya nakuha yung machete. And then obviously nakuha niya yung Demon Hunter Sword. At nung nakuha na niya yung Demon Hunter Sword, Esmeralda, Hilda wasn't a problem anymore. Dahil yung damage output niya, napakataas na. Tapos, yung mapapansin natin, actually, for me personally, what I noticed sa mga teams natin is yung mga MVP of the matches from the last weekend and in the game 1 of week number 2, laging 0 deaths or at least 1 death, di ba? On our MVPs. And you're gonna ask, except Raflesha by the way, but it kinda tells us na siguro yung pag-funnel ng mga teams natin ngayon is hindi na lang focus ngayon sa pagbigay ng items, but also protecting their carries very much. And even though we can say na yung mga carries natin ay mas careful na sila for MPL Season 6, for the meta that we'll play right now, it's also because of the fact that the teammates work around the carries even more now. At least that's what I noticed, and it's pretty evident in this game. This is a Claude na alam natin na hindi na ganun kalakas when it comes to matching up against the Ling. That's our lesson from MPL Season 5. Pero bakit siya nag-work ng MPL Season 6? Why? Well, the answer is because of the teammates din. Yung play na ginagawa ng mga teammates ng isang Claude will really put Claude back in the meta. Anyways, there's a lot more to talk about, and game number 2 is incoming. So why don't we bring it back to the casters? Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Wolf. That is a very nice insert there. Except Raflisha.
Of course. 0-21, obviously, except for him.
The exception to the rule on how we evaluate our MVP. And I kind of feel that was really a manifestation of the 10-ban system. Again, sometimes, you know, as casters, we actually disagree on a lot of things, especially in how we see games. Actually, my personal MVP for that would be of you on the Chango or the impact. I just want to emphasize. I just want to emphasize that the damage for the utility support that he has done is really high. Actually, the Loyi, I think it was not discussed there onto the post game. The Loyi actually did perform really well. 21,000 on the damage dealt. But I can remember that he is dealing damage onto Thams and Uranus,
which just gets regenerated over and over again.
So yeah, again, when we are analyzing stats, it's not necessarily that
raw
when
damage,
someone deals damage, then that's okay. You have to again when you're analyzing stats, you have to understand. You have to understand how those numbers interact with each other. Because if someone did dish out big damage, then maybe look into the enemy team. If did someone there receive a lot of damage but has very few deaths?
Yeah, and who received the damage? Is it the tanks or is it the carries who are supposed to be dying?
Yeah, so
if you want to win.
Honestly, no problem for the Uranus and also for the Tams if the Liu gets picked, because one of the biggest counters for continuous damage is sustain. But actually, they kind of work equal. Sometimes, if you want to counter sustain, you also want to dish out continuous damage. Sometimes that's one of the mechanics. But if there's one purpose for the Liu that was not utilized, it would be of the delivery.
The
delivery, the ultimate onto the backline of the few. Yeah, I cannot but feel that it's maybe because Reboost lane got opened very early.
Yes,
you know,
that was the top. That was the top turtle lane, right?
Yes, that was the top turtle lane.
Very, very early tower take.
Yeah, and if you got a lane that is opened quite early, You get map control.
Yeah.
You get map vision. You have a better idea of where the enemy team is because they have, a smaller map rotation.
That's right. And
Right?
that's a big something that you have to think about as well. When you come into your games, you have to think about what towers went down and what that means.
Yeah.
For example, that top lane means that they're having that tower take on the top lane means they had a hard time in picking the engages. If you open the mid tower, that means access to your jungle.
Yes.
So you have to think about those when you make your pushes as well.
Well, let's see, ladies and gentlemen. We are now onto the game number 2. Of course, with a static of 1-0 in favor of Bren Esports. This match is played on a best of 3 series, so that's already match point here for Bren Esports.
Yep, and Bren Esports are showing that they are not afraid to pick up those old heroes that have been discarded from the past seasons and then make them work into something new, which I think is also very meaningful, which means they studied the patch very well because Claude has been buffed very much on this patch.
We got the swap here. All right. I kind of feel that the Claude may run through or pass through our match. I feel like just the Claude is like a cherry on top for the composition of Bren Esports. But the show was a really good pick onto Lusty. Should be enough to earn a ban onto Omega. Should be enough. There's you got freedom to actually ban that. No surprise on the ban on the Khalid. What I'm curious here is will we have another classic couple interaction between Esmeralda and Uranus because they're not banning anyone.
And that's going to be a big question mark. Like, does it really mean Esmeralda equals a bad Uranus play? Because on that last game, it didn't look like it mattered.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Probably because of the show.
Yeah, Lusty's show, man, that was
really
beautiful. So many Way of the Dragons, and very early Way of the Dragons where you're not even tanky enough, but you rely a lot on your teammates.
Yeah, I also
trust them.
Also want to comment on the few. I mean, it's actually very risky what he did earlier. Chango support, that's not side lane, so
that's
side
right.
lane Chango.
That's a roaming.
Yeah,
Chango.
that's roaming Chango. It's very risky in my opinion, especially on the Jawhead, but it doesn't look like Omega did capitalize and actually utilize that Jawhead really well. We got a Tams ban here onto Omega. They're planning on actually rolling out maybe the same composition, but breaking what would be the possible answers from Bren Esports here. Let's see what would be the first pick. Let's actually stop thinking about the YSS.
Yeah. Surprisingly, a lot of the teams today don't care about YSS that much, right? A bigger priority on the Yuzhong.
That's much better. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, before the game started, us casters, we were talking, and we were saying probably no Yuzhong today. Probably, right?
Probably.
But
then,
apparently they let it through.
Yeah, because of the ban. For a ban on Yuzhong. But if they let it through, clearly you can pick that one. But that makes the Esmeralda side lane awkward, in my opinion.
It does.
I cannot but feel that Esmeralda might not be an option here for the second two pick of Omega. You also get the Parsa, which Bren loves playing, really.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
What most of us consider as the number 1 support right now. Not because of the damage, not because of the damage, but really of the vision.
Yeah.
And the effective roam that Esmeralda can do.
Sometimes it's not always about the damage, right?
Yeah.
It's about the amount of zoning that your skills can provide.
Yes.
Like sometimes you pick a
You just drop two feathered airstrike. If you get hit by 2 feathered airstrike, that's already effective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's already like half HP for most people.
Yeah.
And that's enough to scare them, force them to back, or
make
to
their
force
plans awkward.
Yeah, play awkwardly and force them away from an area that you're trying to secure.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Cyclops. Just so that Yuzhong and Hilda can keep attacking the target.
You could still choose a Hylos here.
That's gonna stop a lot of the Hilda from pushing.
Yeah,
right?
that's also gonna stop a lot onto Cyclops. And given the 10-ban system, there's a lot of freedom to choose the Hylos. Again, you could just leave the off lane onto the Uranus.
I would
still have your main tech here without having to reveal your side lane.
I think if you notice, a lot of side lanes are being left a little later on the draft today. So it's going to be interesting whether or not they're going to pick another solid, sturdy hero. Most likely a support. But going for the Lancelot instead. Very early reveal here.
That's really good, if there's one carry. Okay, if you're going Cyclops, fine.
Yeah.
We'll go Lancelot. I mean, the moment that star power lockdown lands, just greet that with the Torn Rose.
I would say that's one of the... this is one of the heroes that Carly is also always super comfortable with playing. And this guy can really do some damage when you give him a hero that has a very high skill cap. Yeah, that's been the trend here, at least for Bren Esports.
Not to mention Rockhart, that I can't help but think Omega may still not choose the Ling anymore. This is actually a composition that, with the Hayabusa ban, Bren Esports doesn't really want to worry about the Ling getting chosen.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it makes more sense that you got the ban onto the Roger and force Omega. Although I think really Omega won't choose the Ling. Force Omega to choosing a Ling.
That's
because
be a
there's
bit of a,
there's a very nice invade control here now for Bren.
That's true. Right. And also not to mention that these heroes from Omega, this Yuzhong needs a lot of farm as well. You don't want that to contest with a Ling. And you guys are fighting on the map for a lot of gold. That's probably gonna get invaded by Bren Esports.
Yeah.
Right? So you already have an enemy
Yeah.
that is invading all of your resources, and then in your team, you're fighting on who gets the gold.
Yes, and the best part here for the side of Omega though is no more Chango.
That's right.
Just because of that Uranus. X-Borg, they're really eyeing their side
They
lanes.
hate that
We
X-Borg.
might be seeing some surprise side lane pick here for Bren Esports. Now I kind of feel that the one most affected here might be a side lane.
That's
Or
true.
you know for the 10-ban system, because teams are now prioritizing their supports and carry.
Yeah.
And now we got our carries. Look at that. Our carries are now being prioritized onto the first
First to
rotation
third,
or
yeah.
second. But here,
Exactly.
Omega, they're still holding it up. This might be very punishing for Omega.
I think Omega might just have
YSS
to make
not-
a big choice.
Yeah, YSS will not be a good choice here.
Yeah. That's gonna get taken care of by the Lancelot and the Farsa so easily.
Yeah.
At this
What will
point.
be the carry here for Omega?
Omega could opt for a Roger still. They could
No,
force.
Roger is banned.
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah, so
oh my
so that's
gosh,
the
Roger's
problem
banned.
now. Yeah,
I did
Hayabusa
not
is
notice
banned.
that. Oh,
Hayabusa is
man.
banned. So
What a draft here.
oh, close.
They still
Okay,
forced the
they still want the
lane.
link, but
Okay.
this time with the Angela. But with a side lane Cyclops.
This is side lane Cyclops. I like it. I like it right now.
Wow!
Unless they do a side lane Angela, which Kenji has been known to do before. Way before. I don't know if he's gonna do that now, if they
Oh my
force
God.
him to. But it's gonna be super fun to watch.
10 bans, ladies and gentlemen, and we're seeing a Cyclops. And
Cyclops.
Angela, this is season 1.
Yep, way back then. Welcome back. I would say.
Wherein the supports are trash. And the only viable support is Angela. Wherein you always choose Bounty Hunter and you choose Assassin to win.
Yep.
Wherein
Get that
Fanny
damage
is
output.
faster.
Oh, I miss Fanny, man. I hope Fanny makes
Wherein
a
there's
comeback.
Lancelot, actually. Lancelot is a season 1.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
MPL season 1 hero.
Galot
but
Gacha.
Yeah.
Very interesting pick here for Bren Esports.
Totally
It's,
okay for the side lane. Totally
yeah.
stable for the side
It's
lane.
one of those heroes that work well with the Farsa and the Kupopol and Kupa as well.
Yeah.
We've seen a video of this like just earlier today, and they really dominated that game. So, great zoning capabilities, great stuns here
Side
for Bren
lane.
Esports. That's something that, you know what? That's the only thing that's lacking for Omega. That hard crowd control.
Yeah,
But
yes.
the only thing you have is
They have the Cyclops.
star power
lockdown.
Other
which
than
is,
that,
yeah, being targeted for the if you use that on the Lancelot again,
it works.
It
And
works, but
50-50.
that's 50-50 actually. It depends onto the Tornadro's timing.
And
But man, side lane Angela, it's viable, guys. I'm just curious. I think it's punishable still by
So
Bren. I
punishable.
kind of but feel that Bren has a more stable composition here. They got the PNK, they have the Farsa, they have a lot of pressure. We're predicting and putting my vote onto Bren.
That's
Yeah.
this is as much as I really want to balance it out. Sometimes I force myself to balance out my votes, but this is gonna be a Bren game just because of number one, lack of crowd control, which I really like on my drafts. I like a lot of crowd control on my drafts. That's missing from Omega,
Yeah.
and Bren is definitely a lot more balanced in this one.
And again, if you start losing your second cycle of buff, it will be very punishing.
Oh,
for the Ling.
big. Yeah, that's huge.
Especially to the second cycle. Let's see, guys. We are now onto the game number 2 of our first series for the first day of the second week of the MPL-PH regular season Omega versus Bren Esports.
So Bren Esports is looking like they are still gonna be a lot more comfortable in that early game with obviously Lusty on the Popol and Koopa, they have a lot of control on these lanes. But obviously the level 1 is going to favor a little bit on the side of Omega.
Yeah, that's a little bit faster compared to them. Lots of damage actually from the Hilda, not to mention the planet's attack
Yes.
of the Cyclops. That's
Those
why
are
they
two
picked her.
some of the best clearing
Yeah.
skills that you can get from Omega, which is a good pick.
Yeah.
But again, it's not always about the early game, right?
Yes.
Sometimes you also have to consider what happens in the mid game when these guys have their ultimates.
Yeah.
Like I said, off lane, solo
Off lane Angela. Totally no
it's
problem
back.
for that part.
Yep.
Here's the thing though, if Angela actually did use her Heart Guard, you can easily respond if you're get at Kacha.
Oh.
Avatar of Guardian is kind of semi-global in a way.
Yeah,
right?
that's a great combo.
Yeah.
That can actually work well against each other. So for the meantime, it's gonna be chill for the most part, and I kind of expect this to keep happening, since both of our lineups have some very late game carry.
Ooh, that was close. That was really, really close. Kenji here in critical hand. He did receive, I think, that Phantom Execution from Kurt Z was almost closer to Hajis. He had that taunt connected from Rebo.
Yeah, that was like
That would be it.
pixel perfect, almost there,
Yeah.
right? So a little bit of a failed attempt, but I don't mind that at all, as we are gonna see another one very, very soon for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like Hajiz is just waiting for a perfect opportunity, and like I said, that Yu Zhong, oh my God, big mistake.
Biri balance.
Very, very, very balanced. Leave that,
Yeah.
please. Just ban the Yu Zhong.
The procs on that guy.
It's impossible. I mean,
Able to take
we
down
played
the
it
Uranus.
yesterday, and I did not feel the nerf
Yeah.
at all. So good luck, guys, for Omega. But they still, again, I like that they're prioritizing the keeping the Yu Zhong alive as well here for Omega. This is a good way for them to come back.
Yeah.
Right? If ever they can get it to late game,
Yeah.
this lane is this Yu Zhong.
Yeah.
This is gonna tear through Bren Esports.
And the best part about the user is it will establish pressure that Hayes would need for his Cyclops, to land all those planets attacks freely. Here comes a GZ. Now focus on the few. Few will be saying goodbye. But the Flicker should be burned onto the last tick. Flicker as well onto Losty. They get greeted quickly by the Predator Dare Strike. Doesn't matter. No, nice! Back up here by Rebo. Rebo with a taunt now for Kenji as well. But I think he would have to back out. That's a 2-for-1 exchange in favor of Omega.
I feel like I'm watching boxing, blow
Wow,
by blow.
wow, yeah.
They are answering each other so fiercely.
Boom!
Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, bring in the hit.
My gosh,
That was
this
Flicker.
guy.
Yeah, that was just one hit completed. Had it been, it would be a kill for that Lancelot. But still not going to be enough. The thing about Hilda, the first blow is hurting.
That's right.
But the auto attack of Hilda is a bit slow.
It is, right? You have to use that skill to reset your
Yeah.
normal attacks, basically. And somehow, I just feel like, they're just letting those blows go by without too much answers. I feel like the finishing is becoming a big problem for Omega here. They cannot finish off targets very quickly without the help of Hajizi.
Yeah.
So Hajizi needs to be in the fight so that they can take full advantage of everything they're doing on the map.
Yes, especially that this is still a link comp.
Yes.
With Angela.
Angeline.
Yeah, this is still a link comp. Alright, is that a feather dare strike? I'm seeing is still the Uranus here, getting punished heavily by Curtsy, just in time for the Black Dragon form to back up here for this turtle. Curtsy tries to walk away, still secures the turtle upon the third rose. Rebo here will be left for dead. He uses the avatar of Guardian, not to really guard someone, but to really walk away. Hayes here receives as well the Phantom Execution coming in from Curtsy. And I think that's it. The members of OMG along with Kenji would have to back out.
Dude, did you see that Carl Tizzy was being chased by 4 people?
Yeah.
And he end one into the bush.
Yeah.
And then went for the softest target.
Yeah.
He got a kill.
Masterful play. I mean, you can have all the hype for all carries here in MPL.
Yeah, look
but
at this.
Carl Z is a household name in the MPL.
Gold medalist, boy.
Still the same intensity when he was playing back at the SEA Games, still here at the Season 6.
Yeah.
And still is very young.
Very, very young.
Yeah.
And those mechanics and the decision making on this guy is just so on point.
Yeah.
And we are back in the game here with even more advantages coming from Bren Esports in terms of map control, right?
Yeah.
Because in economics, they are relatively the same.
God carry. That's Card Z actually.
Yeah.
This guy is. I cannot but feel that Card Z is very much underrated.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
and I
for
mean,
sure.
He's a total outlier in the carry role. The one who can actually go up to par with him would be of JP, but that's only with the Ling.
Yeah, and the very good the synergy between between JP, Raflisha, and KLVJ.
Yes, there's a requirement, but Carl Z can make plays of his own.
That's true. And we saw that right
Yeah.
there. 4v1. You know what? I'll go ahead and go for the Cyclops. You
Yeah.
guys can chase me everywhere I go. I'll outplay you in the bush.
So we're very even in terms of gold kills. Not that much really, but in terms of map pressure, it's clearly established in favor of Bren Esports. Even Flapsy here, who's been suffering.
What an aggressive offlaner,
Who's
right?
been suffering against Kurt Z. Was able to go for the push here, down for the bottom lane outer turret. Now, big problem. Kurt Z receives 2 ticks from the Feathered Airstrike. Wasn't able to connect the Dragon Tail even onto that artillery minion. So lots of pressure.
That's
still
exactly
for
what you
Bren.
were talking about earlier, right? Just 2 hits can force you back
Yeah.
into your fountain if you don't deal with it very easily, and if you are not farmed up well. And now Bren Esports, they are trying to capitalize on that map control advantage they have. And want to go for a fight?
Yeah, they're going for the fight. Black Dragon form once again. Remember that in this instance, like a deja vu, done here too by Kurtzy with that retribution done. And of course, another one. Kurtzy tries to get a tag onto Kurtzy. Really mix up with the Dames. Angela also hugging onto him. The hard guard finishes onto the backline. Flapsy once again goes for the rival haze. Force the flicker out. Flapsy may be punished. Dragon tail onto Kurtzy. No more Dragon form. And of course, he gets back up there by Kurtzy. He is the real Z here and bringing in a heavy P onto the members here of Omega.
Oh my god, so many E's.
Yeah.
So many Z's in this game.
Yeah,
I
man.
know what you meant earlier. So many Z's is going to be a little bit difficult to pronounce, but we are still having
What
a
a
lot of
dizzy
fun.
game. What a very dizzying game.
What a Z game, right, exactly. So, I feel like Hajizi's having a hard time in this lane. He's having a hard time navigating to those targets, right?
Yes.
It's not...
Bren, no worries onto the link, actually.
I don't know why. I feel like it's so overwhelming for Hajizi to get into the right targets.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because of this Gatot catch as well from Rebo.
And Karsi is just downright good. Let's see here. Hajizi burns his Blade of Tempest. Now that is going to be a very big loss and big signal here for Bren to be aggressive. Carl Z here, able to get a tag onto that Cyclone Eye. Uses the puncture just to get a tag as well onto Kenji. Onto the Black Dragon form. Goes for a few. Fly away. This dragon chasing down that bird. It doesn't matter. He is back to his semi-dragon form and he gets greeted by the Thorned Rose. Also with a Feathered Airstrike. Flapsy into the front line. And everyone will just take their separations in the mid lane.
Overall, I feel like it is an uphill climb right now for Omega. They are trying to climb into that mid-game, that late game, where Hajizi and Kurtizi are going to be so strong.
Yeah.
But Bren Esports, they're kicking the ladder. They are destroying everything that Omega's trying to hold on to.
Yeah, like a ladder match in WWE. I mean, when they're about to
get the money
grab
in the bag.
the money in the bag.
Yeah.
Simple, you just kick the ladder.
That's what they're doing.
It's really funny when you watch it. Right?
I know, right?
It's really funny when
It's
you watch
such a
it.
fun
Oh,
back-to-back.
There's the glorious moment of
Almost
getting
there,
the money in the bag and
then you
then
get pushed
somebody
back.
kicks the ladder.
Yep.
There's that. Ladies and gentlemen, 3K on the gold lead here of Bren. But again, guys, in terms of gold, I would dare say, well, now it's 5K. It's now much. But really, it's about the map. It's the map control. It's the pressure here by Bren. This one's in the back. Now, what you'd want to observe here is how do we close it out? The Lord will be... may push the top, may push the mid. So that's why now Bren is allocating this bottom lane pressure so that there's enough minion wave stack onto the top lane side the moment that the Lord pops up.
So wave control is what
Wave
they're
control,
trying to
yes,
go for, right?
yes.
And the pushes are going to go in at the same time, so Omega will need to decide where they want to defend.
Yes, yes. And again, Lord, it's not just the Lord, but with a lot of minions, there will be a very big problem here for the Omega. OMG indeed. Flap Z here gets hugged by Kurt Z along with the dog coming in from Lusty.
Wow, absolutely. Now it's becoming so much harder for Omega to actually defend this.
Oh my god! Kurt Z here with explosive play. Now he gets tagged there by the Black Dragon form, but puncture still available and all of that. Why? Just to beat out the members of Omega onto the brother. Did Few?
He flickered, right? He did. He just did.
Why?
Yeah, it's on cooldown.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know, but they don't care. Prevail with the zoning grabs are gorgeous.
Yeah, mysterious place, ladies and gentlemen, coming in from Bren Esports. You got Hayes here getting clipped along with Girls. It doesn't matter. You can actually see how much pain is delivered against Omega.
Maybe what Bren Esports saying, you know what, flicker away you. We don't care.
Yeah.
We're winning anyway.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and clean this up
Yeah.
like what they're doing right now on the top lane push.
At least the skill will go on cooldown, maybe just so
For the last push.
added points, you know.
I don't know, style points.
Utility.
Something. I don't know. It's
so
a
that
stat
so that you can say that you used the flicker
for the whole game.
For the whole game,
Oh.
classic combo. But Kurtzim did miss his Phantom Execution. There is an up minion wave now entering the base. Also the bottom lane tries to destroy
Looking
this inhibitor. And now we get the members here of Bren Esports finally knocking down the final door in the base of Omega.
That's a very empty base there for Omega. And now Bren Esports,
They know.
despite a very low kill deficit,
Yeah.
they have macroed their way into a
Yes,
10k
yes.
gold lead.
Yes, that's the exact term. They did macro their way into the 10k gold lead. That, you know, the fights are explosive.
It
The
is.
fights are really explosive. But I cannot but feel that Bren is not really after winning fights, but actually after establishing pressure.
Exactly.
You
The
know?
pressure on the lanes and removing the towers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They don't care about winning the team fights. They just want to make sure they can push.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. Will the drive-by be completed?
You remember
Yeah,
this
the
lord.
BSB versus Aura match where actually Drix just drive by that Lord, you know,
steal with the lane.
with an easy retribution. Here comes the Angela riding onto the Black Dragon form. Didn't hit not much and no problem as well. A quick deletion are coming in from Kurtzy, and Kurtzy here will be brought to the D by Kurtzy, and another member will be saying bye, and I think that's it. How about that? Triple kill for Kurtzy. Bren Esports closes out this series in a very dominating fashion. 2-0 against MLBB.
Man, what a beautiful play there. And I would say that is how you micromanage the whole game, right?
Yeah.
In the end, even though no matter which target Kenji went to for the hard guard, it was taken care of very easily by Bren Esports. I'm a little shocked about how well they played that, and a little shocked that they don't have any reactions on the camera, but maybe they're focused a little bit. I don't know, right? Maybe they're
No
being-
celebration,
There's
you
no
know,
celebration.
yeah.
This is just normal day in the office. you know?
Comfy.
Oh man. But
coffee climate, you know, it's cold, you know, you don't want to move that much.
so that's a very easy 2-0, a very chill, not easy, very chill 2-0.
Yeah,
for Bren
and I also want to mention a good read onto the 10-ban system. I think
my
that was
gosh,
a really
wow.
good read onto the 10-ban system. I kind of not feel that Omega was forced into
Very uncomfortable
comfortable picks, yeah, in comfortable situations here. Really rely on that link. We actually started saying that like during the off season and even at the start of this season 6 that players and teams, even semi-pro ones, has a good read on already doing counters against the Ling.
Yep.
They did have the Yuzong, which is a very, very strong pick. Still not enough, right?
I know. I feel like that Yuzhong might have been utilized a little bit. Maybe if they used it as a funnel Yuzhong, that would have been different.
Yeah.
But of course, you have a Link, so you can't do that.
You
So
can actually see the strength of the Farsa. right?
Yeah.
How good Farsa is.
My
really
gosh,
as a
this
support.
Farsa. He
Yeah.
doesn't even need to hit the skills all the time.
Yeah, just pressure.
Just
you know?
pressure and zone.
Yeah.
That's all that they had to do in that one, and it worked very well for Bren Esports.
Yeah,
and it supports your theory. You know, Farsa best support.
Yeah. I think Farsa is really the best support right now. But I would believe Louis could go second on that part on Selena. It really depends. It really depends on the utilization. But that wings by wings. That's what I love about Farsa. Well, we'll see what Wolf loves about this game.
Esports fielding their Lancelot this time against Omega, and it really went one-sided talaga. All facets of the game, even when it comes to the draft, you can see na may mga outlier na lamang ang Bren Esports dito over their matchup, which is Omega. And I cannot say na outdraft or anything ang Omega dito, but what we can say is that there are really a lot of ways para gumalaw ang Bren Esports, I'd say. So, kunwari, if we're looking at Omega, they are very dependent on their Angela as well as their Hilda to really amplify itong kanilang lineup. And you're looking at an Angela na core, by the way. This is not a support Angela. What the support is, the additional Cyclops. So if you're looking at their lineup, siguro ang idea nila dito is to execute their opponents with their Ling as well as their Hilda na merong bonus na factor. Tapos yung taga-whittle down sana ng kanilang kalaban ng damage, ng deal ng damage is your Cyclops as well as your Angela in the form of magic damage. However, you can see that the itemization from Bren Esports really hampered the damage output of Omega. Not only that, hindi din ganun kabilis ang burst potential ng Omega when it comes to the team fights against Bren. Bakit? Kasi if you're looking at Bren's lineup, you have Farsa, you have Lancelot, meron kang Uranus, and Popol. Ito yung mga heroes na hindi dependent sa kanilang ultimates. In fact, kaya nila lumaban at any given time. So maybe if we can see the next stats that we are looking at, the actual in-game stats, makita natin yung difference when it comes to the damage output. I don't know if you can see this very clearly, pero yung numbers pa lang, mga kaibigan, when we're looking at the damage output of the members of Bren Esports compared to Omega, napakalaki nung nakikita natin mula sa Bren. And you're gonna wonder, bakit nga ba? The draft of Omega isn't that bad. Hindi ganun kasama. Pero bakit hindi ganun ka-impactful yung mga nagawa nila? Well, it's only because of the fact that they're so dependent on their ultimates. While it's true na yung fleeting time ni Angela dito ay mabilis na nakuha, hindi rin ganun ka maaasahan ang lineup ng Omega kasi kinakailangan nila maghintay na kanilang mga ultimates like the Dragon form. Kailangan nilang pagsabay-sabayin para lang makalaban sa Bren. While Bren's lineup, you're looking at it, kahit kailan pwedeng lumaban. And by the way, Rebo played this well. I think na isa sa mga standout na gatot catcher na nakikita ko, lagi nahuhuli yung Ling. And of course, the superstar trigger mula kay Cartesi. Maybe if we see the highlights later, makikita natin kung gaano kalupit ang performance si Cartesi dito. And there's so many outplays actually. And all throughout this game, na ginamit pa nga niya at a certain point yung Thorn Throws to dodge some of the deadly attacks sana mula sa Omega. And Omega started this strong. However, Bren Esports, look at that. Look at that play coming out from Rebo. Lagi na huli. And the Turtle, nice play coming out from Cartesi as well, using the full kit of a Lancelot. Something that really you have to take note if you want to learn the Lancelot. Ganito po kumilos talaga. Sobrang sulit ng bawat dash. You know when you're to go in or to not go. And lagi din yung retribution niya dito on point onto securing those buffs, which is very important for me on the performance of Bren Esports. To be honest with you guys, there's not much to see after those early highlights dahil alam natin that this is one-sided in favor of Bren Esports. And we can attribute that to a very good start as well as the fact that Bren Esports, each player, alam nila yung role nila. For example, they know that they need few to deal the damage and the added vision coming out from the feathered airstrike. Diba pag nag-feathered airstrike ka, may extra vision ka. You also get that from the avatar of the Guardian coming out from Rebo, and they made perfect use of it. And Cartesi, alam niya yung kanyang limitations as a hero. In fact, he did not die at this point. Once again, going for these boots, the tough boots, if I'm not mistaken, yung tawag sa kanya, but it's anti-magic, which is the, sinabi natin kanina, diba, yung source ng damage output ng Omega in the early stage of the game. Not only that, it allowed him to play more confidently dahil may konting crowd control, may resistance against crowd control itong boots na to. That's why ang ganda ng napili dito na itemization ni Cartesi. And you can really honestly say na ang taas talaga ng in-game knowledge ng mga batang to. And the last, I would say, na ginawa ng Bren Esports dito is to activate their superstar trigger. All honesty, may potential talaga si Cartesi, for example, or si Ajizi na maging malupit at magbakitang gilas, mag-superstar mode din para sa Omega. Pero hindi natin nakikita yun. For the past days of Omega, I guess the homework for them is to find their superstar trigger. Dahil pag ginawa na to, katulad ng ginagawa ng Bren Esports with Cartesi, they will be successful more. But so far, the superstar trigger nandito sa Bren Esports. All throughout the season so far, napakagandang performance and excited to see them with this 10-ban system at makakita tayo ng mas marami pang heroes at mas marami pang malulupit na plays from Bren. Has been our first series, and I believe that we will have a chance to talk to one of our players kanina na nagpakitang gilas. I'm not entirely sure kung sino yung mismo makakausap natin, but I'm excited to see and talk to, sakto, Cartesi. Hello, Cartesi. Batiin mo naman yung mga viewers natin. Ganun lang, oh. Okay. Ano? Cartizzi, ano ba ang sikreto mo? Bakit napakataas palagi ng KDA mo at bakit mahirap kang patayin?
Mataas yung KD kasi napoprotek ako ng pamilya ko.
Cartizzi, gaano ka-importante yung ginagawa ng coach ninyo, lalo na ngayon na may 10-ban system?
Sobrang laking tulong po din na po namin check parang suggest
Okay. So mukhang mas gusto yata magsalita ng mga teammates niya. Pero siguro before we end, Cartizzi, any secrets na gusto mong i-reveal sa mga viewers natin ngayon kung bakit ang lakas ng Bren Esports ngayon? Ano ba ang sikreto ng Bren?
8 hours a day practice script lagi. Kasi hindi na dapat. So, di ako nag-iisip. Mahirap mag-isip. Nag-iisip na
Okay. Cartizzi, siguro last message na lang sa mga viewers natin at sa fans at syempre invite mo silang manood pa ng laban ng Bren Esports.
Thank you sa support. Tuloy niyo kami support at shoutout sa mga viewers natin.
Okay. Thank you so much, Cartizzi. Congratulations on that 2-0 win over Omega. At good luck sa inyo. That was your superstar, the child prodigy. Lagi natin sinasabi about Cartizzi. We know that he's one of the strongest players out there. At what we really like about Cartizzi is buo yung loob niya. I mean, I think that pag tinanong natin yung mga viewers, kahit yung mga analysts natin, even the coaches, they say that Cartizzi is one of the most confident players out there. Hindi lang ngayong MPL Season 6, but even in the past seasons, when we see him, he really pops off. And I think that's very important for Bren Esports, and that's something that they can utilize all throughout the season. By the way, guys, we have our giveaway codes at meron pa tayong bonus code natin dahil balita ko ang daming sumasali sa ating mga giveaways, sa ating mga promos. And I think that if you continue to submit your entries consistently sa ating mga contest, then you'll have more bonuses for sure. So, sali lang sali. But that has been our first series. I believe that we still have one featured match. After this, for now, we're gonna be hopping into the break. But before that, why don't we thank the entities that made this possible? MPL Season 6 is brought to us by our official sponsor, our tournament telco partner, Smart, and forge stronger bonds with your team as you conquer the battlefield with Smart Giga Games. Enjoy 1 gigabyte of games all day for Mobile Legends, Facebook Gaming, and more. Just dial *123# and choose Giga Games 99. Of course, MPL-PH is also brought to us by official sponsor, Realme. I believe na meron na tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung ating hashtag Dare to be Realme. Realme is celebrating the first Realme Fan Fest and the hashtag Dare to be Realme campaign. Visit their official page at fb.com/Realme Philippines to know more. MPL-PH Season 6 is also brought to us by our official sponsor, Gillette. You can get up to 50 diamonds with every purchase of Gillette's Mac 3 Razor, Vector 3 Razor, or Blue 3 Simple Force Pack in select Pure Gold doors nationwide. Hashtag Shave the Day with Gillette. Of course, MPL-PH Season 6 also brought to us by our partner in esports, PayMaya. I believe that you can get up to 7% balikbayad when you purchase your gaming pins via PayMaya, the better way to pay. Promo runs until August 31. Also, MPL-PH Season 6 also brought to us by our partner in esports, TikTok. Just search MLBB in TikTok and get a chance to win skins, premium skins. Napakadali lang mga kaibigan, search lang yung MLBB sa TikTok. MPL-PH Season 6 also brought to us by our official gaming headset partner, Logitech G, You're Like a Pro. And MPL-PH also brought to us by and powered by Moonton. Mga kaibigan, that's just our first series of the day, our double header. We're going to be featuring another incredible match for sure. And before that, why don't we celebrate by watching the top 5 plays of the previous series. Kita-kits!
The way you live your life depends on the network you choose. Your movies, music, and games can only be as good as your network's speed and strength. Slow means
game over.
But the Philippines' fastest mobile data network means
game changing.
Choose the network that gives you what you truly enjoy. How do you know about this Giga Life?
Simple and smart ako.
When uncertainty is our reality, we rise above with the things that matter. Gigify happiness. Gigify love. Gigify friendship. Gigify dreams. Gigify hope. With smart Giga music, video, games, work, and stories, we let our passions run free in the new world we face together. Smart, live Giga.
Realme smartphone. Dare to leap.
Realme Watch. Time to be smarter. Realme Dare to leap.
Don't pay cash.
Pay Maya.
Para may balik bayad ka.
You've got me on the edge.
Legit, right? Not quite. Just like your disposable razor. It's time you switch your disposable razor for your legit first shave, so you can be every bit legit. Gillette Mac 3.
For a closer shave, less irritation, switch
to Gillette Mac 3.
Hi guys, I'm Shinbuy, the one for a night.
At ako naman si Manjin.
At kami, ang Manjin Bu Tandem.
And this is second episode of MPL
Meta Dive. Kung saan ang pag-uusapan natin ay ang meta. Meta, tol.
So ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin niyan? Sa mas pinadaling salita, kada laro ay meron tayong mga sikat or mga umuusong strategies na madaling gawin para manalo.
No? So, the biggest indicator of the meta, or alam mo yun, parang impacting ng meta, would be of the patch
notes.
Presented to us in the patch notes. But presenting the patch notes to you, usually it is divided into 3 segments. No? You have a buff, meaning pinalakas. You have the nerf, meaning pinahina, and you also have some adjustments. No?
Ang magandang talakayan natin dito ay ano-ano nga ba yung mga usong metas per season. Simulan ko na.
Simulan mo na,
per
tol.
season ng MPL Season 1, favorite hero ng lahat, Fanny. Bakit? Question Bu, siya lang ang may pinaka-unique na kit sa lahat. Mabilis yung rotation, mabilis nakaka-response, and malakas din yung damage.
I would describe Season 1's meta, aside from the funny, as a meta or a season of kills.
A season of
kills. Kung saan napaka-popular ang mga assassins at hindi ganon kasikat ang mga support. Actually,
hindi talaga.
Walang pumipili ng support para Manjin, di ba?
So, ayun nga yung Season 1. Question, ano ba yung naging meta ng Season 2?
Of course, the Season 2 meta, paring Manjin, has been characterized of the buffs that was done on the front line and the direct nerfs doon sa mga assassins ng Season Season 1. Isa sa mga pinakamalaking indicator ng naging meta for Season 2 compared to Season 1 would be of Selena and Kimi.
Yes.
Because they can dish out good damage from a very safe distance.
So meron kang damage na Kimi na simula hanggang malayo pa lang. Tapos meron kang 3-second arrow stun.
Yes.
Na nagmula sa Selena, na ikaw na rin nagsabi, pwede ka magtimpla ng kape. Kada tatamaan ka ng pana ni Selena. And isa yun sa mga naging paraan ng team ng Signal Ultra para manalo ng championship. With that, Kuya Shinbu, after Season 2, nag-evolve na naman yung game. Pumasok yung Season 3.
Nung Season 3, nagkaroon tayo ng kakaibang approach na naman sa meta. Mas lalo ulit binawasan yung damage ng mga burst heroes natin. At din, mga team fights ay mas mahahaba.
Matatagal,
Oo, matatagal kasi talagang ang taas na naman ulit ng mga buffs and changes pagdating sa prolonged team fights in the form of fighter.
And mind you, dahil doon sa mga fighter setup at mas matatagal na laban ng mga teams, parang mas naging safer din yung laruan ng mga teams. Mas natuto na sila mag-objectives.
Yes.
And pinakita yon ng Archangel.
Yeah.
Look at this. Ang baba ng score nito, 10 minutes, pero ganyan lang, 12-2. Medyo stamp na kasi to. Pero ng mga bandang early, medyo safe ang laruan nila. You know what, Kuya Shinbu, since siningit mo na yung mga supports, papasok na tayo sa meta ng Season 4. Ano pa ba ang mga kit ng supports na nagpapaganda rin sa kanila? Yung kanilang mga battle spells. At isa sa mga battle spells na gamit nung Season 4 ay ang best battle spell. And look at this, the Arrival battle spell. After na pumasok yung battle spell na yan with, actually playoffs din ata, nagkaroon ng update yan Yan din yung naging game changer sa buong playoffs.
And again, I just also want to characterize that Season 4 revolves more on the macro.
Macro playstyle.
Meaning, kinokonsidera na yung iba't ibang bahagi ng mapa.
Season 5, I think, nagkaroon ng parang pinakasikat na meta and unti-unti na rin natututo yung mga players natin from ranked games and yung mga other teams na eto yung gagawin natin itong meta. Ang tinatawag nating funnel strategy. At natutunan ng mga players na paano kaya kung ibigay natin sa isang hero lang lahat ng jungle camps? Makakakuha kaya siya ng mataas na levels kaagad? Makakakuha kaya siya ng napakalakas na power spike kaagad? At dahil nangyaring natutunan nila yon at tinanong nila, yun yung naging strategy.
Ngayon lang talagang Season 5 nagkaroon ng emphasis on getting that one hero to be really fed and become strong in leading your team to victory.
Ganon na nga guys, nag-evolve ang meta sa buong 5 seasons ng MPL.
Well, that has been the meta review for all our 5 seasons, ladies and gentlemen. And tama nga paring Manjin, things are just getting more and more exciting and legendary for the ongoing meta of MLBB. Once again, kami yung naging host for this segment. I am Shimbu, the one for an
At ako naman si Manjin. And magkita-kita tayo sa susunod na episode ng MPL's The Die.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the biggest mobile professional league in the Philippines, the MPL-PH Season 6 regular season. I'll be your anchor, should be the one for an eye, with my analyst, Rock Hart. And now we are onto the second series of the very first day of our second week. And of course, biggest thanks to our official sponsors. Our official telco partner, Smart. Forge stronger bonds with your teams as you conquer the battlefield. With Smart Giga Games, enjoy 1 gigabyte games all day for Mobile Legends and Facebook Gaming and more. Dial *123# and choose Giga Games 99. We also got our official sponsor, Realme, who is celebrating their first Realme Fan Fest actually right now. They have an ongoing concert right now. Yeah. And hashtag Dare to be Realme campaign. Visit their official page at facebook.com/RealmePhilippines to know more. Biggest thanks to our official sponsor, Gillette. And get up to 50 diamonds with every purchase of Gillette's Mac 3 Razor, Vector 3 Razor, or Blue 3 Simple 4S pack in select Pure Gold doors nationwide. Hashtag Shave the Day with Gillette. Also, would like to send a big shoutouts to our partner in esports, PayMaya. Get 7% balik bayad when you purchase your gaming pins via PayMaya. The better way to pay. Promo runs until August 31. Also, our partner in esports, TikTok Live. Guys, do look out for Mobile Legends in TikTok and get awesome goodies coming in from Mobile Legends. Also, our official gaming headset partner, Logitech G, Here Like a Pro, and the MPL-PH Season 6 regular season is, of course, powered by Moonton.
Looking really good here so far on our first week
of
the 10-band series.
Yes.
Right? So it's still a big change, obviously, but we have seen that Bren Esports apparently has adopted very well into the current situation that we have.
They did.
And now it's going to be another set of teams that are going to be battling each other off with a new rule. That's going to be Blue Fire and Execration.
I just want to mention that again, the series earlier closed out on 2-0 against a powerhouse team. But again, they're fighting another powerhouse team, that is Bren, right? But usually those kind of series takes very heatedly, right? In a very heated manner, by the way. Usually they end up 2-1, but that was 2-0, very surprising, and that was done against Omega PH. I cannot but feel that Omega PH need to get back into the drawing board.
Oh my god.
Even though it is still week 2, I think that's no excuse really. I think Bren came in more prepared,
that's
to Omega PH on that part. And this one, Blue Fire and Execration, I think this will become explosive.
It will. I think so too, because I feel like these are two teams that really have no actual defined hero, no actual defined strategies yet. I feel like they just explode and then they just win games.
They usually wing it.
They wing it and it works well, especially for Execration. Ever since Season 2, I feel like that's how they've been playing the game. Chaos has always been equal to Execration.
Yeah.
Almost every season.
Yes, and again, one of the biggest headlines for MPL back in last week, week 1, would be of the lower tier teams of the Season 5. Get Blue Fire, Blacklist, and also BSB stepping up really. Even closing out series in a 2-1 fashion against powerhouse teams like Aura, Signal, right? And even NXP, right? So, what I want to mention here is also, it's good to be back. Into our studio.
I like it, and I really like that we are also very much kept safe as well. By
yes. Of course, you guys should take care as well. There's still an ongoing pandemic right now. And let's enjoy at the comfort of our homes. Let's head into the Blue Fire video.
Before ng MPL, nag-aaral ako sa UP Diliman. Ang course ko is Sports Science. 1 year na lang. Nagka-baby ako. So after nun, doon dumating MPL. So parang naging better opportunity siya and better future. Kaya ginrap ko siya.
Dati pabigat ako sa pamilya ko. Tapos ngayon, pabigat na rin ako sa team ko. Ngayon nakapasok ako. Nagka-chance ako na ma-prove na may kwenta din ako.
Yun yung passion ko siguro maglaro. Tapos imbis na naglalaro ako nang di ako kumikita, pinasok ko itong pagiging pro, easy money.
Dati po pinapanood ko lang po sila. Parang gusto ko rin pong itry na makatapak po sa MPL stage po.
Hirap din mag-disappoint ng mga tao na naniniwala sa'yo.
Being a pro, easy money?
Yeah.
Is that real?
I don't think so. I don't think so. There's nothing easy. Like, nothing! Nothing easy about being a professional player. I got Secret here too, on scene. Crimson Fuzaken and Limbs from the Blue Fire squad. Again, they just rebranded right?
Yeah.
But they're actually a mainstay team coming in from Season 5. They have new additions into their lineup with Fuziken Lims and was that Unseen? I forgot.
Yeah,
forgot
no,
about
I think
who was the or Kripzu.
I think it's Kripzu.
I think it was Kripzu,
Fuziken.
right? Yeah, for the new addition to their team. Also, want to mention, I'm not surprised, right? But I'm just happy to see and know that Secret came in from UP Diliman.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
usually
so
you have a
schoolmate.
reputation to have like really.
Yeah, because
really
it's
brainy
the national university,
Yep.
right, of our country. Well, let's check out their opponent, and it will be one of the most hyped team in the country. One
Yep.
of the team with the most loyal fan base, honestly.
For sure.
Right?
By no means.
By no means. Yeah,
I
totally.
think only one other fan base is gonna rival these guys.
Yes,
and
yes, yeah. I think it is very obvious.
Obviously.
It's NXP or
Yeah.
Execration. Shit kaya yun.
Yung wala pang ML schoolboy pa ako nun College ako nun. Nakita ko sa Facebook yung yung Mobile Legends. After nun siguro season 2, nagkaroon na yun, naglaro na ako ng Mobile Legends.
Kaya ako nag-pro kasi gusto kong makaranas mag-champion. Gusto rin makipagkompetensya sa ibang bansa.
Para sa akin, kaya ako nag-pro kasi bago ako mag-Mobile Legends, naglalaro na ako na more on MOBA, yung MOBA games yung nilalaro ko. Gusto kong makipag-compete, gusto kong manalo ako sa ganito. Maging competitive ba?
Kasi kailangan mo talaga sumagal pag gusto mo yung isang bagay. Kasi hindi mo agad yung makukuha
It's very cool, no? It's
Very
very cool to see Zapnu saying that you have to take a gamble, take the leap of faith. As he look at his teammates, on the ending part of the teaser for their video, like, I mean, a schoolboy, the boy next door, a handsome guy, third ML favorite pro player, also a very popular streamer, and now vlogger, honestly, Zapnu, being the guiding light for the new members of his team.
That's right. I mean,
like,
he's been a veteran since season 1. Obviously, I think one of the first times we met him is on season 1, right? And he really was that classic boy next door.
Yes.
Guy. And I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons why before the league started, he was already one of the most popular players in the game.
At Max Benecuti, Chaknu, Sagitnu, Hate, and of course Zapnu with Sagitnu as one of the newest addition for the team. Actually, one of my favorite new addition to Execration's lineup would be Benecuti. I'd admit I'm actually an Execration fan as well.
For sure, yeah.
It's very difficult to be an Execration fan. I always keep on saying that. You're just cheering for this team, but
sometimes they just
really,
have a hard
they
time.
always fall short.
Yeah.
And again, going back to Zapnu, the good example about Zapnu is like he's starting to become like a franchise player or like one of the faces of MPL is on the idea of maturity. Because it cannot be denied that gaming, esports, pro play, despite how good the production is, despite how good the quality of the games are, how the organizations have been putting systems to really make sure that it is going to be on the top level, it cannot be denied that there's the impression that majority of our fan base and even the roots of this industry came in from the young.
For sure.
From the youth,
I
right?
think even that's an ongoing thing.
That's even an ongoing thing right now. Like majority of the MLBB players are young right now, and it's really good to see not just old faces, but seeing and following someone who grew from like the boy next door, a schoolboy, onto now someone who has the confidence. Way back, Zapnu is not really that confident, right?
Yeah,
Zapnu is also shy type,
Yeah.
and now he's the one who's very willing to actually give advice to his teammates in front of a camera.
I remember back in season 1, you would see him walk up to the interview panel. He was like a little bowed down, a little. He has his head turned, and you would not know. It's a big difference from what he is right now.
Yes,
very confident to be the face of their team and of course the league. And still be one of the most relatable and likable.
Yes,
players
relatability. That is the biggest thing. You don't see schoolboy. You don't just see someone handsome. You don't see just someone who's good in MLBB. You don't see a leader. What is being shown here is growth. It's growth, and that can only be done by doing multiple MPLs. You don't see that in just MPL Season 1, you don't see that in MPL Season 2, but you can see that you can see the change. If you've been following MPL Season 1 and even to MPL Season 5, there's the growth.
Always the growth.
Very important. Growth,
and
guys.
The people who grow are the ones who actually stay.
Yeah, yes.
The people who cannot adapt, the people who don't mature, they're the ones that we don't see anymore.
Yes.
Probably, right?
Yes.
And they have failed to keep up with what's required of a pro player.
Yes.
And sometimes those are really that's why you have to admire them even more. That they have made it so long. Especially this guy, so consistent. He never gets dropped, but he also just never gets to the top.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the
Let's
problem.
forget a hashtag give Billy the crown, actually.
right.
Now, let's go into the head-to-head of the teams Blue Fire versus Execration. Breaking down the games they have played, actually, I got 5-3. I think we're accounting for...
Yeah,
we're accounting for Season 1. For Season 5 for Week 1. Right? Because there are already 2 series that was played by Blue Fire. They actually had a series that went on to Game 3. That's why they got 5.
Correct.
Actually, one of the biggest problems there is of they got 0-2 by NXP.
That's the
NXP's
biggest
debut.
ouchie. Yeah. But again, because of the matches,
they actually rose up after the NXP match. Right?
Yes, exactly. So I think the NXT match would have been was a big detriment to their stats here. And Execration, the big problem with their stats is, of course, they had only played just 1 series.
Yes.
But you can notice that Execration, they still have a big emphasis this time around on getting those average kills per game.
Yeah, I'm actually
looking
looking at the average kills
That's
per game.
huge.
And I'm sure
more than double.
This is very high, but that is because of Raflisha.
For sure.
Even until now, even until this week 2, Raflisha is hunting us. He actually broke the stats.
Yeah.
He actually
He broke his
rendered-
own stats.
He broke
and
his
the
own stats
of
and the
everyone.
stats of everyone, making it kind of unreliable.
For sure, those stats are just
because of
you cannot
that
get any good info because of that.
godforsaken DG.
Oh my gosh. But of course, one thing you cannot get out of the stats is, of course, the team damage, the Lord slain, the turtles taken.
Yes,
That's
yes.
still a big indicator of how these guys play and what are the win conditions of these 2 teams.
Yes, yes.
Obviously, a lot more turtles are prioritized by Blue Fire despite that big loss 0-2.
I wonder if Execration is still in trauma of Raflisha. I mean, they got Raflisha traumatized them in 2 games, not just Diggy but also of the Loyi.
That secondary game where you looked like you were winning.
Yeah.
And you were confident in taking a turtle. I think that was a turtle, not even a lord.
Yes.
But you get backstabbed by a Loyi out of nowhere.
All right, we got here Hate versus Limbs. For the most part, it is going to be Hate. Hate is expected to be a really, really explosive player from Execration side. But, that's why there's no surprise on the KDA rate and even in the disparity between average net worth and even the average game score, really. So, Limbs still has a lot of work to do. Actually, Hate got it caught up for Limbs. And, man, for this match, this is an opportunity to establish yourself. Because I still think that Curse plays really an important role on this MPL. Although they actually have, in my opinion, also quite an easy task.
Yeah,
because
that's right.
they don't have to worry about setting up. All they need is to get the scaling down, right?
That's
but
true.
still, carries are carries. Carries are carries,
And
guys. So
of course, Limbs, we have to note that he is, of course, a rookie in the league.
Yes.
Sometimes when faced against big veterans, they don't really play that well.
yeah, there's
right?
that factor.
Sometimes.
Yeah, there is that factor.
That's something that he has to fight over and over again throughout this whole regular season for sure. So this is going to be one of those.
And
You're
again,
fine.
we are still in the 10-ban system.
Yeah, big challenges ahead. I mean, it's not enough that you're a rookie. You also have to deal with the new system.
With the new system,
Right.
yeah, and I'm actually trying to think if can they take this, can they approach the 10-ban system in a very objective manner, or will they just start adapting along the way?
That's true.
Adapting along with the draft, like would be expecting first ban Yuzong, first ban Atlas, probably, right?
I'm kind of leaning towards that way. I would be super surprised if we still see that Yuzong, that Yisan Shin. Surprisingly though, in the previous
no
series,
Yisan Shin
no
priority,
Yisan Shin
probably,
priority,
no.
no bans and no picks.
Yeah.
I
On
mean,
that
who
part.
knows what's gonna happen? But yeah, for the meantime, while we're waiting, again, feel free to look do it with us. Do the predictions with us.
Yes.
Comment which heroes do you think are gonna get banned out in the series.
Yes.
What's Execration gonna do this time?
Yeah. Also, I want to do a quick disclaimer, guys. The 10-ban system is not yet adopted onto the official server, so this is just for the tournament server, or I think a special server. I'm not so sure if the tournament server already has the 10-ban system, but it is just still here. It's only just for the MPL. It's only just for the MPL. It will be coming. It will be coming onto the official server.
Very
that one
soon.
is for sure. Very soon, yeah.
Just gotta chill and wait for it to come.
Yeah, you know, just roll with Diggy.
For now.
Onto the solo ranks, yeah.
Yeah, for now, just chill with your Diggies on the solo ranks.
You know, there's also one great Diggy player known as Patricia. You know?
Ooh, Patricia.
Yeah, the fat cousin of Raflisha. He's actually casting in the Tagalog. Yeah, Tagalog stream.
You gotta watch out for that guy as well. When that guy picks a Diggy, and you're gonna see these on streams a lot, you better watch out.
Yes. All right. So for a better breakdown again, continuing the breakdown for Blue Fire and Execration. Again, guys, Blue Fire is actually the ULVL team back in Season 5. They actually let go half of their roster, including Kripzu, Limbs, and Fuzaken, right?
Yeah, Fuzaken.
And again, there's actually kind of a relatively low expectation for Blue Fire. They're actually ranked, I think, onto the number 10 if we're like going onto the off-season rankings as we enter Season 6 Week 1. But they did surprise us on their second series.
At least,
right? Yeah. They actually closed it 2-1. I think they still did lose.
Yeah, I think they did still lose.
Right.
So I think that's also a reason why Blue Fire has so much left to prove.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be left on that bottom barrel where you're not much is expected of you. It's gonna impact the morale, obviously, of the members. Because if you think you're not good, your play is gonna be affected very much. So I hope they've already taken steps to prevent that. I hope they've already talked to these guys and make sure reassured them that you guys are going to be fine. The coaching staff is going to be super critical in making sure these guys actually are going to play to their look at them.
Wow.
Apparently,
well, that's Execration.
Yeah, apparently Execration, they are just very much chilling.
Yeah.
They don't look pressured at all.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
At the same time,
that's a very good gaming chair for Zap.
My gosh. One of the best players in MPL with that gaming chair is it's a statement.
Orocados, ladies and gentlemen. And, things are looking chill as well onto the side of Blue Fire. Yeah. Yes. Finally, we get our camera set up in for the boot camps of our respective players so that you can actually see them. Again, guys, yes, the broadcast is being done here on the MPL studio, but our players are still competing from the comfort of their respective homes.
That's right. You got to make sure that everyone is going to be safe.
Yeah,
and
that still
sound.
takes priority. That's number one priority.
Yeah.
Safety.
And of course, Integrity we have a lot of our marshals also on standby. They're making sure that everything is up to par. And if pauses happen, you know what? That's just part of the game, so don't blame us.
Yes. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to remind you that to those who actually don't know, again, there is a tag stream going on hand in hand with this. The commentary is provided on by Butters and also Rob Luna. You can check it out on the official Facebook pages of Mobile Legends Bang Bang and
YouTube.
Facebook and YouTube.
That's
YouTube pages for MLBB. I think we are doing this English broadcast on the MLBB Esports pages.
Mobile Legends Esports
and also on YouTube.
That's right. So if you are here, again, international fans, we are making this for you, and
actually
I hope you appreciate that.
Actually curious if there are some fans healing from the West. I would like to send big shoutouts to Paolo.
Oh yeah, Paolo, man.
Yes, thank you for the input on the commentaries, and also onto the fans in the West, right? Onto the fans in the West, because for the most part, I think most of our viewership hails from Southeast Asia.
Probably from competitive MPL regions as well.
Yes,
like Indonesia or Thailand or Malaysia and Singapore.
Yes. Also want to send a big shout outs to the broadcasting team. To Gideon, on Malaysia.
We miss you guys.
Singapore.
We miss you guys.
Yes, it's been no on-site events going on.
We're looking forward maybe MSC.
I'm actually trying to recall. It's not. When was the MSC last year?
That
was
was
during this time or
around this time. Yeah, I think
probably
around 13 months ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I saw it in my memories thing. So Big, we miss you, and we're hoping that next MSC maybe we'll see each
You will
other
be here,
again,
right? Or maybe we will go there.
Maybe we'll be
maybe
there.
we'll go there.
Who
Well,
knows, right?
Well, no, ladies and gentlemen, we just know it's what's. No matter how much we reminisce, again, what's the most important thing is everyone is safe. Should be safe. You guys should be safe, right? And yeah, we have gaming. We have MLBB, we have MPL.
Yep.
You know, and we can easily watch at the comfort of our homes.
Esports was built to withstand stuff like
Yes,
this.
yeah.
Right? And that's why we also just really have a big respect to our organizers who sometimes there are going to be need for some people to go out right now, but they still keep us safe and they still make the proper precautions so that we can provide you with shows just like this one so that you can entertain you at your home.
Big shout out as well to our production team, you know, always willing to go, you know, take another step forward and really improving everything for MPL. Speaking of improvements, we have a very beautiful draft coming in. This is game number 1, Blue Fire versus Execration Blue Fire for the blue, Execration and the red. So I'm actually eyeing on the Yuzong and the Atlas here, but the introduction will come from Blue Fire on Akufra.
For sure. And Blue Fire is on home. They're on home color. So I think that's going to buff them a little bit in this game. They're on the blue side. So obviously the blue side is great for your big priority picks. I like that we also expected Yi Sun-shin to make an appearance, but it didn't happen on the first pick. So that Uranus first pick last series really did a big number on their opponent. So maybe we'll see that again this time around.
And again, remember, paired with the Uranus would be of the answer in Esmeralda.
Yeah,
right?
for
so
sure.
Let us see. Again, we'd want to see the first roll out of the bans. There we go. We got the Yuzong now. Coming in from the side of Blue Fire.
Absolutely.
Still, we do not believe that the guy is nerf.
I was reading the patch notes earlier. I was saying all of that's arrow down. Not really. I don't
really.
think
No problem on
so.
that part. Again, there we go. We got the Atlas ban. Now, let's see here. Things will become much clearer once we see the third ban. Will there be Uranus? Because right now, for the available options on first picks, we can have the Farsa. We can have it can button. We have the Farsa. We can have the Uranus. Yes. We can even have an opener on the PNK. But my best guess is the PNK might go onto the second cycle.
Yeah, I haven't seen an opening for PNK yet. Maybe on the second pick.
Yeah,
for the
it's been weeks. It's been weeks since people stopped opening with PNK.
Before it was a big priority pick, but now I think Farsa, because Farsa has been proving to be a better pick for the support role, a lot of teams are actually fighting each other over the Farsa.
Yeah, so right now, from the looks of it, there's a good option of choosing. Yeah, there's a good option of choosing fighters right now. The Trinity of tanks now remove here, Atlas, Uranus, and Kufra. Now, forget about the Khalid. I always forget about the Khalid.
We always forget about the
because
Khalid.
He's the newest one. He's the newest one of the first pick priority. That leaves the Farsa open. That leaves, we won't be seeing any Esmeralda here. That leaves the Farsa open.
So Farsa is obviously one of the
or
biggest
YSS.
picks.
Let's see. I mean, but YSS
You have a lot of
I haven't seen the YSS in game number 1, but let's see if what will be the first priority here.
So obviously, Yi Sun-shin and the Farsa are going to be the biggest competitions right now. Other than that, you can try to prioritize your tankiness. I don't know what kind of tanky heroes they're gonna pick.
With the Uranus gun, you could also go for your fighters. You can also choose. Actually, you know, something safe for Blue Fire. Open up with the Cho.
Oh, that's a very good one.
Benikudi is actually. Wow.
Wow, these guys. I don't mind that we're getting these.
You ban the Uranus, you choose the Esmeralda.
Obviously, right? I don't know what the reasoning for that is, but obviously, if you do that, I think I would have preferred if the enemy picked the Uranus, right? If I have this, instead they will be going for the FAMs, and Esmeralda can't really lane against the FAMs that well especially in the early parts of the game. So. Man, these decisions from Blue Fire is a little 50-50.
I think that's too. Yeah, I think that's too revealing. They could have chosen the Farsa. Honestly, they could have chosen something safe. They could have chosen the Thams, right?
Yeah.
Even an Xborg, honestly.
Xborg has been banned a lot. I don't know why by Bren Esports.
Yeah.
And the Omega.
But they're actually choking the fighter.
Yeah,
Bull,
that's
right?
a bit weird considering. Or maybe it's because
that
the tanks...
That lead to Kenji in actually choosing Angela Sideline.
Yeah,
and Angela Sideline, right? So, right now, there we go. We got the Farsa in No, well, this is an opportunity for Blue Fire to actually choose a core. Remember that there is a two-ban that can come in from the side of Execration, and Execration can choose their third pick as another core. So that denies 3 cores for Blue Fire. Let's see, cores or carry. Let's see if a carry will be chosen. I mean, the carry hero will be chosen, not
That's
exactly
right.
carry. Okay.
Because I think aside from the Claude, yeah, carry is a great
You could have
option.
first picked the Hilda, right? You could have first picked the Hilda,
This
actually.
is so weird.
Why
but,
Esmeralda? But
yeah, overall, Blue Fire is building such a tanky lineup. If you notice, all of their bans are tanks, and all of their picks are tanks. I don't
Yeah.
know what is up with Blue Fire with this one.
yeah, but man, you can even have the support, and obviously Farsa will go for support. You can even have a Changu once again here. I'm starting to really like Changu. You know, build a very early Necklace of Durance.
That's gonna
NOD
There's a very good chance
onto him,
that
and
it's gonna happen.
just have the Thams here with the Execute, just to finish the life quick here onto Limbs and Creep. So remember that the Execute actually bypasses the shields.
That's right. That's right. So a big question mark here for Blue Fire still. And because of their pickings, it's so easy for Execration to just ban out some of the biggest carries of this game. But one thing is maybe we can ban out that Chang'e, because if Chang'e gets into this lineup, that's very scary. They have a lot of long range engage, long range damage output that can be zoned very well.
Yeah, well,
by
it could
the
be,
Gadot
but yeah, by the Gatot and
and the Hilda.
well, for the side of Blue Fire here, they still have one option for the utility support, and although few did successfully pulled off the utility support Changu, I'm not so sure if Blue Fire will opt into that.
That's true.
They're
Popol and
moving the
Koopa's
pi-
banned out. That's
Yeah.
weird. A little weird for me. I mean, they would have liked. I would have liked to pick Popol and Koopa for Blue Fire for this one, to be honest. but-
Additional shield.
Yeah, I
for
know.
the Esmeralda, you know, for the midi. You can actually body block, and you can actually you can easily ignore the wolf like Popol
yeah,
here.
that's right. That's right.
Even if that's chosen. But you know what's one of the strongest heroes of Blue Fire, you know, going back into Blue Fire, is of the Hilda. Ripsu has been
Absolutely.
stellar on the Hilda last week.
And it does work well, like if ever Execration tries to go to pick up that Diggy because they hated it and now they're
Yeah.
gonna do it. It's an easy pick. That it's if you pick a Hilda, that's equals no Diggy for the enemy, right? It's so difficult to play Diggy to do the feeding comp for against a Hilda because as was explained, Hilda just does so well when you max out the stacks.
Yes. Hilda is the number 1 counter.
Number
for
one,
Diggy,
no-
yeah.
no
Support
doubt about
Hilda, guys. And again, you might be thinking, what about Aldous? No.
Not really.
Aldous is very slow.
Easy to maneuver around.
Yeah,
Aldous, for sure.
and Aldous wants to get into the lane and get the stacks on turrets.
Yeah,
Not
mostly on
Diggy.
turrets and minions.
On
right?
minions, but not
Not
on Diggy because
It's very unreliable.
again, you don't want to sacrifice your side lane just to get a kill on a support.
Yep.
But you can. It's totally okay to kill a support using a support. That's why it's Hilda, guys.
Support
Choose
Hilda,
Hilda, yeah.
not off-lane Hilda,
Yeah.
okay? So for
Yeah,
now, I feel like we're getting choked on carries. And the Claude gonna be picked up by
Alright.
Execration, so...
It's okay, totally okay.
I
right?
like it. I
Yeah.
actually like that. I would have liked Claude on Blue Fire, but instead, Execration deny pick it.
Yes. No, that was great. That was great on Execration. Also banning the Lancelot. Beautiful
Yep.
for that part.
Good
It
luck.
is gonna be very awkward for Blue Fire to choose a Ling right now for them, right?
Yeah, these are the heroes that Chu... Execration's thinking, what are the heroes that Chu likes to play? Freya is still something that they tried to pick but failed with it.
That's
It
so
was very
true.
strong,
Yeah.
but the funnel Freya was something that did not work. I wonder if they're gonna try that again today. That's a big question mark
It's a
for
big
me.
question mark. They need someone to catch the show. They could have utility. I'm not sure, but maybe it's about time you resume the you return the Oh, all right. That's good. That's good.
Okay.
I was suggesting the Kaja, but this is much better. Natalia, YSS. Now,
Damage output wise, they kind of look like they're okay, but
there's
not
still
really.
one side lane open here for Execration. No, they will have. I thought it was a side lane for the Cho support, but no. What we will have is a side lane Cho, side lane Thams.
Yep, it's gonna be a classic Cho. For
Yeah,
a
it's a
change.
classic Cho.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. This might be brutal here for Blue Fire because once that Natalia receives any kick, any knock-up,
goodbye.
it'll be a big problem because, again, the side lane Cho compared to support Cho,
It's
gets access access to items faster.
Yeah, very very quickly. Plus, it does hurt. Like it really will hurt. You cannot gank it 1v1 for sure. You can't. It's gonna be very difficult for them to go for a 2v1 as well because the damage output for Blue Fire is almost all on the Yi Sun Shin and that Natalia. So they need to rely on these two heroes for their damage for the whole game. Esmeralda's only secondary.
Is Blue Fire lacking in damage?
I think so, because Yi Sun Shin is...
Well, they get YSS.
You got the Yi Sun Shin. That's the only thing that they have.
Yeah.
And for Execration, they know it. They know that they can just target the Yi Sun Shin over and over again.
I think Blue Fire can have a nice fighting chance here. If they start targeting the Claude very early.
Yeah, that's right. On the other side.
On the other side, though, that's Execration.
That's right.
They love fighting early.
Oh, man. Go ahead.
It's kind of difficult to vote,
I know. For me, I'm still going to be going for Execration on this one just because.
I think, right. Yeah, I will gamble on Blue Fire for this one.
All right.
Let us see. I'm backing on Kripzu. If Kripzu doesn't shine on this Hilda, which has been doing so in his previous games, then I think that's all of the cards available for Blue Fire. So now let me put my bet on Blue Fire.
That's right. Blue Fire 1-1 here as we head into the game 1 of Blue Fire next sec. Creation, we are going to be seeing a lot of early game skirmishes, especially for E2 Max. He wants to go out and flex the wings of Farsa as soon as possible on the support role. And they are going to go on 1 free, 1 funnel for Hate, obviously.
And Execration is actually just buying time here for Kripzu. So Kripzu is doing what he can. But the problem is that leaves the times open and taking the buff. And now there goes the backup. Kripzu is taking a lot of attention. Curse of Crow goes for the stun. Come here by Sagitnu. Enough still for Kripzu to walk away. Still the first blood though, and we're able to get a catch. Also that Natalia down for the backline. They're anticipating Unseen.
Dude, Sagitnu got the red. Got the orange.
Yes,
the Soul of Lava. That's big.
He actually got the red very early when Execration and Blue Fire was dueling in the mid.
And that's the power of their lineup, right? They can go hard early on.
Yeah.
And, Blue Fire cannot do much about it except for just to tank it out with the Hilda, with that Gato Kacha. Because obviously, you can't rely on limbs for a long time.
And look at this. So, Heat will be getting a delayed purple buff that will be up within on the spawn time of the turtle.
Right.
So, right now, guys, Execration has the better control of this.
For sure, and they are also trying... Blue Fire, the good thing about Blue Fire is they're trying to answer it really quickly on the top lane, which is super slow, by the way, for Kripzu. I don't think he's going to get this soon. And because of that, Itomax is actually going to be near, and they could contest this. They could still deny it.
Yeah.
Good thing about Blue Fire is they're also getting farm onto Chu.
Oh, look at that. So, Kripzu did try to mirror Sagitnu's invade of the orange buff. And look at the orange buff.
Yep.
It's still there.
It is still there. That's
so
still
there is an effective save there. Done by Etomax. Jump in onto Cho by Cho. Very cutie though. Gets deleted quickly. Done by the Yusin Shin into the front line. Chaknoob delivers the fight. And the Soul of Lava is still available for Sagitnu. He's going to be bringing a lot of pain down for Kripzu. And back up by Etomax. And that's it. Maximum damage into the face of Blue Fire. It's going to be extinguished by Execration.
Very much so. And Execration are now up by almost 1.4k gold. That is pretty big. They have to make sure that they can maintain that if they want to get ahead though. Hate still not getting any kills, but we can still expect Chu to be really strong in this one despite all of that.
Yeah.
Because again, the lineup was built to withstand damage.
Yes.
It's built to withstand all this abuse from Execration until Chu can be super strong on the Yi Sun Shin.
Yes. But again, you got Hate.
Hate
is not being delayed. Hate is not being delayed. The one who's denied of his early buffs was of Cho. And look at that. That is the early turtle we are talking about. That is just the first cycle of his buff. So upon spawn, Hate already knows that he can go for the turtle. This is masterful play coming in from Execration. Look at the great timer on the purple buff. So just, very, very nice utilization of the buffs here by Execration. They did delay the first buff. So that's just in time onto the spawn of the turtle, and now they got their second buff, purple, to pack it in.
Yep, it's starting to look like they're doing it step by step, like objective to objective to objective.
Yeah.
You do this at this amount of minutes. You do the next one at 1 minute after, 30 seconds after. It looks very much more methodical than before.
Yes, and remember, Sagitnu is the one exploding in this game. You have to wait out for Benecutie.
That's right.
Benny Cutie, you know, again, I think he is my...
more of a fighter
He's
build.
my favorite player now from Execration. Very, very explosive.
Yeah. And that's on it again. This is more of a damage type show on the top lane, though. Wow, Blue Fire are actually picking off a bit of a critical mistake.
And that was good. That was good.
Very good pickup.
Yeah, on Sigito finally shutting him down. 2-3 here.
And because of that, they kind of give Chu more leeway, more access to the jungle, as well as ability to get that top lane tower.
Yes, and I kind of feel that into the mid game, Chu will still have more damage.
Yeah,
right?
for
Will
sure.
still have more damage.
Still
Again,
waiting.
late game might be onto the Claude, maybe, but right now, the YSS is a more streamlined scaling in this game.
Yeah, I would say the YSS would definitely, as long as the YSS doesn't get too many deaths.
Yes.
Just don't get too many deaths. You'll probably be fine. I wonder how their team can do that, as right now E2 Max is being a little bit more aggressive. Will be pushed back by Unseen as well as Kripsu, and now
overstaying.
Hate!
Yeah, he's gonna be receiving a lot of damage onto Hate. That's Kripsu tried to flicker out down for the last minute onto the ledge, but still not gonna be enough. Onto the side, Chaknu, Unseen. I think
that's gonna
I don't
hurt.
think Chaknu will go down here.
Yep.
Yep. Rejuvenation is there.
Look at this guy. Like,
of course, classic.
Standing there.
Yeah, TikTok.
TikTok moments. And for the meantime, again, Turtle will go over the Execration once more, putting that goal lead up to 3,000. And now, bot lane is going to be pretty hard pressed. Like I said, Esmeralda's not going to last long against the FAMs for a long time.
Yeah, big struggle here for Limbs. And right now, clear pressure arrives from Execration side of Rockhart. And that's the problem. Lots of land to be flied for by Etomax.
Yeah, and E2 feels like he's just doing his job right now, just controlling the lane. He doesn't care too much that they're not pushing. As long as Hate is getting all the buffs, they're fine.
Yeah.
They're doing well. They're getting all the jungle. What more can you ask for? Just hold out and wait for him to blow up. But the thing is, Chu is also doing the same.
Look at that. Perfect setup coming in from Chaknu. And also Benny QT kills the main carrier of Blue Fire. I don't know, so that is the answer of the Blue Fire. They were able to take the fire set down. Next would be of Chaknu. Maybe exchange that is 2 of 1 for 2. No, they already did. Maybe 1 for 3. Here comes Benny QT. Still not going to be enough. No firepower to actually knock down the armors of that Hilda.
That could have been more, but somehow Execration actually was not ahead in that fight.
Yes.
They are going to suffer quite a big deficit, but you know, they're still ahead in goal a little bit. And this is what Blue Fire wants to do. They really want to just not die and maybe capitalize on mistakes by Execration, like right now. I think Hate went straight to the face of the Gatot Gacha. He got down, he got deleted before that fight even started.
Yes, and not to mention there's still a lot of damage that Kripsu can lay down. But he did attempt again on that orange buff one more time, but it's not going to be Etomax that will greet him. This time it'll be of Sagitnu, Chaknu, along with Sagitnu, along with Hate. Now takes down not just Kripsu, but actually Secret. Big problem here. Limbs tries to back up onto Sagitnu with a counter at Inferno. Not gonna be enough. They're gonna kill on Tams.
Yep, and that is really starting to show what the battle plan is for Execration, right? It's all relying on Hate now.
All right.
Getting that turtle buff is going to be big, and now they will have the ability to just control the map even more.
And that officially opens up our mid-game. Ladies and gentlemen, turtle buff on to Hate. Also a double buff, all for Hate. Now, onto Unseen along with Edamax, they're going to be securing, also denying that Litho and members of Execration will try to advance here onto the territories of Blue Fire. Blue buff, purple buff, secured by the members here of Execration. Kripsu receiving also a lot of hit down for Hate. Blazing duet, make that a duet as it is just not Kripsu. It's going to be Limbs that will be taken down. No, Hate will not commit. Body block done in by Chu. Chu here also kites back. Chaknu tries to chase down. Benny Q goes for the split.
Yep, that's basically what you want to do. And it's a boom here for Execration, making advantage of course, their very mobile heroes to get around the map and then push where it hurts.
Big domination game here by Execration. I got 4K on the goal that they're handing out. Not to mention the map control that they have. They only lost 1 turret here at the max. Down for the back line. No opportunity for Limbs to actually back up. And very interesting position by Unseen. Clearly, that is an Unseen threat. They're onto the purple buff.
That's right, for
by
sure.
Natalia.
So what I like about Blue Fire right now is even though Execration obviously has so much map control, they are not going down. They're not dying. Despite the massive amount of damage from Itomax, they can still hold out on certain parts of the map for a long time.
And kind of feel that what Blue Fire wants is to really set up and I think acknowledge their win condition. If they want to at least take the wheel against Execration, they need to delete Hate. They need to utilize Unseen.
There you go.
Unseen has been repositioning himself really on the backlines for the most part.
Hashtag delete the hate.
Yeah.
That can apply to so many things.
Yeah, it's totally, applies to, totally applicable for 2020. Let's see here. Ladies and gentlemen, Unseen along with Kripzu stays onto the brush. Starting to become a chess game here as nobody is starting to move, but there is going to be the face check. One of the best actually to go for the face check. It would be of the Thams. But will the counter at Inferno? Counter at Inferno is just being held on by Sagitnu. Members of his Execration started for the Lord. This might be a big pivot point for Blue Fire.
If they're not careful, this actually can
Look at Hate.
This is going to be really big.
50%.
Now,
50%.
Hate is low.
Yeah, Hate is low. 50%
no.
onto the health of Hate here. That's gonna be Limbs. He did miss his ult. What? Down for Sagitnu. Sagitnu, where is the counter at Inferno? And yeah, that is burned already. Onto the backline, very cutie. And they also got Unseen. Now this is Execration scene to be turned on against the Blue Fire. That will re-engage, delivers the gate onto the face of Grip. And that's only Limbs remaining. And also that turret in the mid lane. They can easily convert this one onto another inhibitor.
You know, I don't blame the Obs. It was a difficult fight for me to navigate. And now, Execration, they want to finish this as soon as possible. 10 minutes in, they're in the base.
Oh my God.
And it's a wipeout.
That was quick. And that was a perfect execution by Execration 1-0 as they take victory against Blue Fire.
Wow. So, again, I predicted Execration to win this, but not like that.
Yeah, totally not like
Not
that.
like that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I thought they were gambling. Well, they are gambling.
Yeah, they are gambling.
They're taking a gamble on that Lord fight.
I'll be honest, that last part, the last fight, there were two fights happening. It was very difficult to navigate.
And actually very awkward because it was of Etomax and Hate.
Unseen?
No, it was Etomax and Hate that did try to catch Unseen.
Right.
Where
there
Hate
you go.
is 50% health.
That
So
was-
I kind of feel we did miss that on the camera.
Yeah.
But you use a Farsa on catching the Natalia. That was nice. Right?
That was very nice.
That was very nice. Yeah.
That's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
But they did it. And it
I mean,
resulted in a very massive...
You don't see the perfect analysis for it. Perfect analysis, guys. You know what's the hero of Unseen, right? It's Natalia. Right?
Yep.
Natalia is hiding so you don't see it.
You don't see it.
Who was able to get the kill on Natalia?
You can't see me.
It was the Farsa.
Who was blind with a blindfold. That's
perfect analysis.
Oh my gosh.
Only here.
Perfect.
In MPL-PH, ladies and gentlemen.
I like it. So
ladies.
That's so ironic. It's
kidding aside, it's a reflection of skill. It's a reflection of skill. Normally, the obvious counter for Natalia are not projectile crowd controls. It's just really on-hit crowd controls, like
homing.
Homing crowd controls. An example would be of a high loss.
Yep.
But no Natalia in his sane mind.
That's a line crowd control.
Yeah, and no Natalia on her sane mind would really get close to a high loss.
Or else, GG, right? So many things can be said about that, right, Shinbu?
Yeah,
My
crazy.
gosh.
Let's go into Wolf. Get analyzed.
Of team fight. Definitely din yung kanilang coordination when it comes to execution, very good mula sa Execration. But then again, let's start with the draft. I think that the fight really started in the draft nung nagkaroon tayo ng 5-ban system, nagkaroon ng free access ang ating Claude. There was a lot of bans on early game heroes like that of Roger. I think at a certain point na ban din yung Lancelot that would have been perfect laban sana dun sa Claude, but Execration did not let that happen. At yung slot nung pagpili nila sa kanilang Claude, it's also very good because it was picked after the last set of bans, and it also prompted the side of Blue Fire na mukhang hindi nila talaga in-expect yung nakikita natin Claude. Now, look at the supports as well of Blue Fire. I'm not a big fan of this. Having the Hilda as well as this Natalia ginamit ng Blue Fire laban sana doon sa Execration, but what really did not happen is yung pag-take nila ng waves as well as the jungles. I think that there's a big scarcity when it comes to the early game damage when taking the lanes, the minions, as well as the jungle that really prevented the Yi Xin to be successful. And actually, if we look at the post-game stats, we will notice how big of a difference it is actually. But before that, I kind of want to say na etong mga picks natin that we include the physical damage output of Hilda and as well as the Natalia, makikita mo yung kulang nila when it comes to like dishing out damage against jungles. And I always firmly believe that before you control the lanes, sa early game, maganda na i-control mo rin yung jungle. And that's what is lacking for Blue Fire. In fact, Execration, they had so much access to their own jungle that they also had access to the opposing jungle. Ang sinasabi ko, pinpointed ko dito is, dahil sobrang bilis nila, kinukuha yung sarili nilang jungle camps compared to the speed of Blue Fire na mababa. It just meant na mas marami silang nakuha out of the map, even with just the minions. And it allowed this Claude to have so much control of the early stages of the game. And you can see na wala yatang... Oh, there are 2 deaths on Claude. This is mainly from both the Natalia. I believe galing siya pare sa Natalia. If not, there was another member that also was facilitated by Natalia. So, Unseen, medyo repeat performance from his previous season performance ng Natalia. Diba? Sobrang lupit niya ng MPL Season 5. And in fact, in this game, masasabi mo may glimpses of how he performed in the previous season. However, ang dami kasing mga problema nitong draft na to mula sa Blue Fire when you're looking at Natalia. Number 1 is, kailangan may tumutulong palagi doon sa ating Yi Sun to farm, right? There always have to be someone na tumutulong sa kanya sa pagkuha ng farm, but that cannot come from Natalia. Natalia is an offensive support na gusto mong pumapatay ka ng kalaban. That's kind of true also with Hilda na dependent din sa pagkuha ng kill sa kalaban just to scale in the late game. So you have 2 offensive supports and there's not much that you can do to help your Yi Sun farm. On the flip side, yun yung nakita natin sa Execration. There's a lot of ways for them. Particularly, meron kang isang semi-offensive nuker coming out from the far side. And you also have the defensive support from Chaknu. And his performance on protecting the hate is perfect. Kaya naman, channel the hate. And we can see as well yung sa highlights natin, bukod sa strategic development mula sa Execration, makikita natin kung paano naman nila ginawa yung mga plays, in-execute ng maganda at matalino. Many times in this game, lagi nilang napapunish yung Blue Fire when Blue Fire is overextending. So for Execration, the key was to always punish the movements of Blue Fire. And ang perfect na teamfight dito naman sabi ko is around the 6-minute mark kung saan yung kanilang pwestuhan ay napakalupit. Particularly this one. Yung susunod pa pala dito. I'm sorry about that. Kasi ang nangyayari para sa Execration, dahil nagfo-focus yung Blue Fire sa pag-take ng damage, coupled with the fact that they don't deal so much damage in the early stages dahil wala silang mage support, doon na natin nakikita yung pag-punish niya ng Execration. Like this one, actually, ang ganda nung start for Blue Fire that they eliminated this Claude. However, look at the position is, look at how spread itong Execration natin na parang pinalibutan nila yung buong lineup ng Blue Fire. At as a result, doon na sila nakuha ng mga magandang pick-offs, like particularly the Yi Sun. And Execration, they will do this over and over. Alright, ibebait nila dito yung mga tanky heroes nila like Sagitno as well as Chakno. And because of the fact that there's no mage, madaming execution, maraming physical damage wala sa Blue Fire, pero wala sila nung nuke damage that we're looking for in this lineup. That's why Chakno as well as Sagitno, ang tagal nila mag-survive, and if they do die, madaming kinocommit dito yung Blue Fire. The last clash that I would say really was the nail in the coffin for Blue Fire was the fight against Execration in the Lord area. Ito na yata yun, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, this was it. Sobrang hiwa-hiwalay ng mga members ng Blue Fire na ang nangyari lang yung Execration, tinitas lang nila. Even the backlines, tinry ni Natalia na i-take down yung ating Claude. But unfortunately, na-punish heavily doon ang mga members ng Blue Fire. Our MVP of the game is actually Chaknu. Look at this, 2-0 and 10 performance mula sa ating Hylos. This is us knowing na yung kanyang hero is very fit against his opponents. dahil nga puro physical damage, puro halos lahat melee, and even Esmeralda is countered by the Hylos. This is why I think this Hylos is such a good pick in this specific game. Hindi man ito yung meta hero, but it really countered a lot of the heroes of Blue Fire. I think this is something that Blue Fire needs to work on. Honestly, Blue Fire, merong promising yung kanilang performance when it comes to individual skills. However, dito sa draft against Execration, it makes you wonder, ano ba na kaya ng Execration? Ano ba yung gising nga ng kanilang drafter ngayon? Kung bakit ganito kaganda yung kanilang lineup and composition against the entirety of Blue Fire. That's something that they need to be working on. And maybe they can start on punishing again their opponents for Execration with this. Now for Blue Fire, what they need to fix, I would say, is yung kanilang priority. Number one is yung priority nila, sino bang papalakasin nila. Kasi I think that there's a little bit of misunderstanding on how they can funnel a hero. Kasi ang ganda nga sana na may offensive supports ka. Diba? Parang it's really promising to really outplay your opponents. But in the grand scheme of things, if you don't have the requirements to kill your opponents at para mag-dominate ng early game, you cannot be successful in getting the funnel strategy off, right? And second is, I think mas disconnected sila ngayon in this specific match. I think many clashes happen na parang hindi ganon kaganda yung kanilang communication. Kaya din naman napapunish sila ng Execration. I don't know exactly what will happen in game number 2, but we do hope that this is not an early night for us. Hopefully there's a full 3-game series, but let's find out how Execration will close out this series if they can. Well, let's see. Back to you guys.
I do agree with Wolf. I want a game 3.
Yeah,
honestly,
we all want a game 3 here.
I just kind of feel that that was a really nice name for the MVP. We got Hylos for the MVP. It's actually a very fitting and direct counter. And if you remove the 1, 2, 3, if you remove the 3 tanks, actually Hylos can come in next along with the Akai. But I think I would lean more onto the Hylos. And it's very fitting. We got Natalia pick, just choose the Hylos. Again, we did mention that despite the blind being able to catch the unseen, it is actually the Hylos that is kind of a direct counter for the Natalia just because of the very easy to land crowd control.
Yeah, very easy to land, and basically the crowd control just stops not Natalia, right? But almost everything. Almost all of the heroes for Blue Fire there were melee range heroes.
Yeah.
Not really melee exactly, but melee range. So most of them, even a mage, needed to be super close to the target for it to do significant amounts of damage.
Indeed.
And that was stopped altogether because of the Hylos pick. Great performance there.
Take note of the spell as well. Within the melee range of the Hylos, you got the rejuvenation or revitalize.
Yeah,
revitalize. Get the revitalize on that. So really, if it comes down to melee trade,
Makes sense.
really no point on actually dealing and chopping down the Hylos. Also want to mention that Creep Zeus Hilda, I think, was read here by Execration.
Yeah, they knew it was gonna happen.
They knew the rotations of the Hilda. They knew how much pressure will he establish with that hero. Creep Zeus has been trying to actually invade the orange buff, right? And Etamax was there to respond very quick.
Over and over again.
Yeah,
I feel like... Yeah, sorry. I feel like that's basically what was the story there. The response time from Execration. I feel like they looked more cohesive, more intact overall around the map.
Yeah.
And that showed with their massive amount of crowd control, massive amount of map control in that previous game.
Yeah. Also want to mention that I think one of the players as well that needs acknowledgement would be of Sagito.
Yeah. That was very...
He's
really like the anchor of that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. The FAMs actually was... it was not as dominant as some FAMs are.
Yeah, yes.
Like, Flapteezy's FAMs is a little different.
But it was very contributing.
Yeah.
He provided a lot of space for hate then.
That's right. It's not like a super, I'm going to go into your lane, I'm going to destroy all of you, FAMs. It was more of like...
Oh, look at that.
What's he doing? What's he...
Oh.
A lucky charm for
Lucky
Kuya Chak
charm.
right
Oh my God.
I like that.
So we got some cute moments there.
Yeah, they look like they're
onto the side of Execration. Flex the dog, Jack.
I think he's drafting. The dog is drafting for them. You know,
Yes.
you guys pick this. All right, you're
Yes.
around. I'm gonna get
Popol
mad
and
at you
Cupa.
later.
That's Popol. PNG.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Popol and Cupa. Oh my God, I think the dog wants to eat Chuck.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, we got
Oh my
distracted.
God,
I mean,
it's so
the cuteness
The cuteness is real.
of this camera
Oh my
feed is
God.
too much.
Come on, like just I'm gonna fight you.
Oh my God. Oh.
They're like asking the dog for input. Like, you should not ban this. The dog's mad. That's why. See, they're talking to the dog.
Yeah,
And they agree. The players agree.
Oh my, that's the newest member of Execration.
High level picks.
Is that the 6 months?
Yeah, I think he's 7th man right now. Because Zapna is also taking a 6-man.
Chat must be going crazy right now.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, this is some wholesome.
Guys, good luck, guys. Good luck.
This might be the highlight of the week. This might be the highlight of day
This is
one.
the highlight of the week.
This is the highlight of day one.
For sure. I mean, like, look at
Yep. Sorry, guys. We're doing
Sorry,
this. We're doing
man.
that. We're doing
It's
this. We
just
are just
amazing.
really looking, reacting to the dog. You don't see that anywhere.
Yeah, this is not
MPL-PH.
something that happens. You know what?
Yes.
It says, good luck, guys. You can do it.
Cuteness overwhelming, ladies and gentlemen.
These guys.
You know, bootcamp should have dogs. I think
All
so.
the time.
Right, I
like,
think so. Yeah.
Dogs and cats and birds or whatever. Or a turtle. You know?
Yeah. Oh, all right. Going back for the breakdown of the game as we head on to game number 2. There is heavy demand for Blue Fire to make the necessary adjustments. Cryptus Hilda is now red.
Gosh,
right?
that's not gonna be picked anytime soon.
Yep. Was the Uranus opened earlier?
It was not.
It was not, right?
I believe the first 3 bans of Blue
Yes.
Fire were the tanks.
All right.
The biggest tanks.
Let's review the Blue Fire pick sequence earlier. It was of Esmeralda.
Yep.
They opened
for
up with the
sure.
Esmeralda. I think they need to stop sending an early message on their draft.
Way too early.
Way too
right?
early. Way too early. I think the
big
Esmeralda is
mistake.
way too early. Farsa was open.
It was.
Yeah?
It was picked right away. If you
Yeah.
notice the picking, it was picked almost immediately.
Yes.
By Execration. It worked very well to control almost every
They could
pick.
first pick Hilda. They could even first pick Hilda,
Are
honestly.
you sure?
No problem. No
don't
problem.
know.
I mean, Hilda is just a support tank hero.
Well, that's-
The Esmeralda earlier was a side laner. It was on Limps. He was not really that effective.
It was
that-
like
on
he
that
was just
Esmeralda.
hoping that he gets fat
Yeah.
by just staying on the lane,
Yeah.
which usually doesn't happen.
Yes.
Usually, if you just stay on lane, you're just getting minions. You're not
Yeah.
really providing a lot of value.
Yes.
And that's not first pick material. I'm sad to say, like that was not first.
Good.
pick
Yeah.
material for
Yes.
that.
Actually, maybe if you're red side,
Probably.
you could. Like, I mean, I totally understand it if
As a
maybe-
reaction.
Yeah. If you have Uranus, without doubt, first pick Esmeralda
No.
for the red side.
Right.
But first pick Esmeralda on the early. I mean, that's season 3.
Back then, when
Yeah.
Esmeralda was like his shield bar was almost twice his HP.
Yeah,
I mean
yes.
that makes sense. But now I feel like it's
So
just
that's one.
yeah.
That's one of the adjustments to be done here by Blue Fire.
Most likely they will go for a first pick on. I would risk going for a first pick Yi Sun Shin and then dealing with it as we go instead of doing that one.
Actually, right now, Blue Fire can actually try to attempt in getting the Yuzong or either Uranus. They're gonna be I think they'll go red side. They can bank on Execration trying to pull off something unique. Maybe prioritize on having the YSS.
Yeah.
And that would leave the Yuzong open. Of course, that would
That's a
require
big
the
risk.
Yuzong to... Yeah, that's a very big risk.
Yeah.
But actually, if you are not going to ban the usual heroes that are getting banned onto the six ban onto the first phase of the game or first phase of drafting, look at this. You got Yuzong, you got Atlas, you got Uranus, you got Kufra.
Yep.
So you can actually... Yeah, you got Yuzong, you got Atlas, you got Uranus, you got Kufra. You can actually have one here. Probably the least priority among these 4 might be of the Kufra.
For me, Kufra is gonna be one of the. You can probably give it away
Yes.
if you want to risk getting either Uranus or Yuzong.
Yes.
It's gonna work still.
Yes.
Right?
So if you are Blue Fire, I think you should not ban any of this.
Yeah.
So you should try to burn out the ban.
So so the first strategy for
Execration.
draft of Blue Fire was a little bit of a misfire. That's what you're saying. Like you don't need to ban all these tanks. Maybe give away something.
Yeah,
It's
especially if you're red side.
Yeah, it's becoming super obvious that
Yes.
what they're gonna pick.
Yes.
Right.
Again, there's another early pick option here.
What?
Again, we're trying to get used to the 10 ban system, all right, guys? So I'm accounting for the 6. Usually, when we are onto the 6 ban system, you're gonna be accounting for just 3 heroes onto the first rotation.
Right,
if you are red side, why do I keep saying if I am red side? Because first pick is on the blue side.
One
so
pick.
they already have 1 denial onto you. So you have to account for like 4 heroes already for 2 or 4 heroes. You're accounting for 2 or 4 heroes that you would want if you are red side. So now we are accounting for all the possible 6 bans here. I'm trying to name them right now. So we did mention Yuzong, we did mention Uranus, we did mention Kufra, we did mention Atlas. You could also have the Selena. Right?
Yeah, I feel
there's
like
still
Selena has been consistently denied as well by Execration just because that's one of their biggest weaknesses. I feel like if you're fighting against a team like Execration, the way they play around the map, you want to remove stuff like the Diggy, which is obviously, it's RIP Diggy for the meantime, and Selena, who have big map control abilities, the Abyssal Trap, and the Time Bomb.
Yes. So now we get 5. We could actually have 6. You could go with the Farsa.
Yep.
So there's the 6 ban that you have. Anything outside would be a free pick already.
You're giving it away.
Yeah. So if you're on one side, if you are on the red side, you have the freedom to give so many things. My suggestion is to not ban any of the 6.
Ooh.
Just do some target bannings. Maybe try to remove some Benny-Cute hero.
Why, you remove the Cho?
Yeah, maybe try to
I don't know
target
about
Cho.
that.
Or maybe target hates hero pool.
Hates hero pool. We have Ling.
But at least try to open up something. And do not first pick Esmeralda.
Yeah, other than that, just go ahead and just give it away. Just give it away if you want to.
Yeah.
Don't first pick it.
I mean, the running risk would be, yes, you are giving 1 strong pick onto the blue side. But again, you also have 2 picks onto the red. So that's why even in the 6-ban system, I think the technique in the 6-ban system still, I think,
it's almost
much
there.
more applies onto the 10-ban system of the red side being more lenient with the bans.
Obviously.
That's what I think. That's what I think. But of course, I'm still trying to guess it. We just saw the 10-ban system right now.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So a lot of this is just pure guesswork.
Yes.
Right now,
still doing the guesswork.
We still need the numbers to come in before we can actually make any big information analysis, right?
Yeah.
How well does it actually turn out? How well do these extra bans affect the stats of certain heroes?
Yes.
For example, we have a lot of...
Oh, I forgot. Always forgetting about him. Khalid.
Khalid? Oh my gosh.
Alright, so we
seriously.
still get Khalid onto the pool of that first ban hero. So,
Such a forgettable hero
so,
for some reason.
yeah,
I don't know why.
So that's what you will have onto the first set of bans, right? If we exceed the 6, then someone will pop out.
The Khalid's gonna show
it could be
up.
the Khalid can show up.
And then for Execration, they have a lot of picks for hate.
Yes.
I feel like he plays the Ling and the Lancelot so well, both of these heroes, that he can actually still opt for... this guy's hero pool for carry is just so massive, it's impossible to ban him out. That's probably the reason why Blue Fire is not trying.
Yeah.
So, Khalid is... man, how's your experience with that hero?
I think he's a really good hero.
Right?
Not though in damage.
Yeah.
I with disruption a lot.
For sure.
Also in rotation.
Because I feel like the Khalid has been super highly prioritized by teams in the week 1.
Yes.
But its win rate is like a 30 or 40%.
Yes, yeah.
And it's been consistently on the ban list, so maybe teams have not been able to utilize all of it yet.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what is happening with that hero. I wonder if we're gonna see it today.
How teams actually understand Khalid, right?
Right.
I feel like the Khalid priorities is starting to make sense. But we will only, maybe further into this week number 2. I think week 2 should be enough.
Yeah.
Because even in this day number 1, even in the previous game,
still banned out.
Yeah, still getting banned out.
Banned.
Yes.
Wow.
And I think Khalid is very impactful onto the side lane. I mean, there are really 2 very impactful side laners in my opinion.
Right.
Yuzong and Khalid.
Yeah, because the Khalid is just a lot of sustain. We play it we play it as well.
Yes.
Like, it is just so difficult to remove from the lane. You can't force him back because he just regenerates under tower with the quicksand, and he just doesn't. He sticks to you like glue when you give him some. He's healthy, he just does the desert tornado around and around and around near you. So I get the reasoning. It just for the meantime in pro play, it doesn't work out well.
I just hope Munton starts releasing hero with mana.
I know the recent ones have not.
They've always been releasing
it's either
heroes
energy
with
or no man.
Yeah, I'm not so sure why.
It's really. I mean, I guess they're emphasizing consistent play in the lane. But
yeah, consistent play in the lane. But I think mana consumption can really start adding more diversion into the draft because it's not just gonna be the main carry.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
will be requiring the buff. I feel like not everyone is all for 131. I'm
Yeah.
actually not necessarily against the 131. I'm just curious what are the possible combinations. I cannot but feel that there are so many. There's a lot more combinations possible for MLBB in
Yeah.
allocating resources and taking down the lanes, right? In setting up the
and
lanes.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we are also hoping for. What we were hoping for, at least, coming into the 10th match. Now, if you guys are wondering, what they're doing, they're just getting themselves ready. We'll get to the match very shortly.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
worry
the
about that.
actual feed. That's the actual
This is the live
feed
feed.
from
So
the
as you can
players.
see on their screens, they're also waiting for the go signal.
Yes.
To make sure that everyone is on a certain level of equality in terms
Yes.
of latency, in terms of everything, the setup. So while you're waiting again, just feel free to predict as many things as you can, as many of these picks as you can. Who do you want to see on the battle today? Right? I mean, those are the things that we want to find out. And also, again, big shout out to everyone who is watching on the streams. Make sure you're also tuned in live to the Tagalog stream, the
Yeah.
Taglish stream that we have ongoing right now with Butters and Rob Blue.
We have a lot of upcoming matches and exciting matches slated for you, not just for the day, but actually for the weekend. We usually do the matches for Friday. In today's episode, with only just 2 series,
Yeah.
right?
And for sometimes that's just a little bit too, it's a little bit
kind of short.
Kind of short,
Yeah.
but it is a Friday night.
Yeah,
People
it's a
are
Friday
just
night.
getting back
Yes,
from
getting
work.
back from work.
You
Yeah,
want
and finally
chill.
trying to close down the week. But on the weekends, we will have 3 game series per episode. Now, we are now onto the draft. This is game number 2. As mentioned, there will be the switch coming in. Execration now onto the blue. And, of course, Blue Fire on the red. 1-0 as match point for Execration.
Yeah, and Execration really want to make sure that they can get pick
Look at that.
priority here for at least one. I hope they do what we said.
Yeah.
Try to get that Yuzhong in. Try to get maybe the Uranus in, right? Those are the biggest first pick priorities so far in the matches. And it's really working well for those who can fully utilize those picks.
Yeah.
Your team is
So, wow, a lot of picks are getting opened up one by one here.
Yeah. I know.
Yuzhong, Atlas,
Dude,
Khalid might be
finally,
available. Yeah,
finally.
because I cannot but think that Blue Fire will be banning the Selena.
They cannot afford to give that Selena out.
Yeah, I think on Etomax. So,
And the Yuzhong, and the Farsa's out. Man,
yeah.
they
I'm
finally
actually
decided.
I'm actually surprised that the Farsa went out, has taken first ban priority onto Blue Fire.
Got traumatized by
I won't expect I won't expect the Uranus to be banned already. I mean, you can easily answer that with an Esmeralda.
Yep. Although it's not always 100%, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think last series we saw someone got demolished by an Esmeralda get demolished with a lineup.
With
the
an
shield
Atlas, yeah.
lineup,
Ah,
right?
with the Uranus, yeah.
Yeah, so we still have a lot of
Oh my God.
question marks to be answered.
Look at the available drafts here. We got Yuzhong, we got Khalid, we have Selena, we have Uranus.
That's a lot of options being
It's a lot of
opened up.
options. You only have 4 pools. We only have 2 remaining bans here. What will be allowed by Blue Fire to be the first pick of Execration?
I really want to say that they want to go for Uranus because I don't think Execration has some really big off-lane priority. Execration's priority has always been on that carry role.
Look at that. They have the first pick advantage. They don't want the Yuzhong. They don't want the
No
Yuzhong.
Yuzhong.
All right.
That's fine. That's fine. Absolutely fine.
Yeah.
We're also forgetting Execration is one of those lineups.
Yeah.
One of those teams that really like the Hellcurt as well.
Yeah.
We still cannot count out that Hellcurt. So a lot of these picks are already being considered here for sure. And Blue Fire are being very careful with that last ban. Are we gonna give away Uranus? Are we gonna give away Khalid?
Uranus, Selena. Which of the 3 will be given to Execration?
Really, you look like they're scratching their heads there.
When you're choosing between the 3, you have to predict. You have to try to go for the next set of picks here.
You will get the next 2.
Yeah,
So that's fine.
you will get the next 2 out of the 3. So they decided to deny the Khalid. Side lanes will be safe. Now, again, I don't expect that the Uranus will be prioritized here because right now, it's actually awkward to have the Uranus Esmeralda on the lineup. Totally understandable that the Selena is prioritized once it is chosen. So, Blue Fire now, this is kind of awkward for them. If they chose the Uranus, they actually opened up.
They actually do. I
Yeah,
feel
they
like
actually opened up the
Selena.
also the Esmeralda.
Yeah,
Pick for the side here of Execration.
and that's fine. I think if they force an Esmeralda pick here, it's gonna be answered really easily as well by Execration. So they should not do that. Now on the side of Blue Fire, I'm thinking about, there you
That's
go.
good.
As you mentioned, Esmeralda gonna be locked in. Still easily counterable by Execration as soon as we get a confirmation of that. There you go, you got locked in. So a lot of possible answers for this Esmeralda.
Yeah.
I like that Blue Fire is still sticking with this Esme. They have a lot of faith in Limbs.
They have a lot of faith in Limster.
That's
Still
really-
yet to perform in this series. Again, Uranus is totally out of the equation now.
Yep,
right?
for sure.
Because if they choose the Uranus again, there's freedom for Execration to choose the Esmeralda. So why not? So just choose the Esmeralda here. Things are getting close still onto this running draft. We might see a core already.
I think this is going to be definitely a core for Execration.
Yes.
They don't want to leave that 2 bans for their core. Obviously, if they pick up this Selena, we might see
a Ling,
a Yisan Shin.
Exborg, alright.
Okay. So, man, your predictions on this game were on point. They do go straight for their core.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, that Ling obviously hates, should be the one to use that.
Alright.
But we will see a possible pick up on Yisan Shin.
Lancelot.
Lance
Yeah,
is
but the problem is they're all melee.
and we've seen what happened when they went all melee last game.
Yeah. All right, the will still all go melee. They will still all go onto
That's nice.
all melee here.
Still all melee, which
And
has...
that's actually a lineup that's quite vulnerable to the last Insanity.
My gosh, it
and the
is.
Exborg.
Good
So
luck,
Execration now has the better command for this game.
Now,
yeah.
Bans are going to be happening here, and I would really like to remove that Hylos again in this if I were Blue Fire.
Yes.
This is a lineup that is going to rely a lot on mobility, and they do it right away.
Yes, that was
instant.
Nice prediction
Instant
there.
luck.
Rockheart. Of course, Execration will be eyeing the support here, the utility support, and also one side lane here for Blue Fire. Valerie is really good. It
Valerie's
will
great.
stop the Exborg on advancing, so
Yeah.
that's really nice. I'm just curious. I have good expectations on the Ling, on the hands of Execration, but Ling got nerfed heavily.
Yeah, by a very big amount.
Yes.
We were talking about that
Earlier.
off cam.
Yeah.
Man, Ling's
Those
gonna
are
get
serious numbers against Ling.
very serious numbers, and the fact that if Ling gets crowd control, he falls from the wall. That's a big deal, and that we did see that it was very difficult for last game from Omega to capitalize on the Ling.
All right,
because of
so they're eyeing the tank support here for Execration.
No
That's why there's the ban onto Benecutie and maybe probable side lanes here. That's a very good ban onto the side lane as well.
Oh boy.
On the Gatatkacha. And totally, I don't expect Blue Fire to choose Amasha here. I think that might be too much. They could... Oh my god.
Yeah,
They
I
could,
know.
No, there is an option. We might see a Cyclops here.
It's a big possibility, and don't forget, teams have really liked that Cyclops to deal with Lynx,
Yes.
to deal with Selena.
Yes.
And I would not be surprised if that happened, but again, they are still looking for a way to really not die
they could
out
choose
of
a
the last
Cyclops.
Insanity.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna insta-lock it yet.
Blue Fire can save it for last pick.
Probably for
Yes.
last pick.
No chance for Execration actually choosing the Cyclops in my opinion.
No, for sure.
I think that's too much for the side lane.
And their lineup is gonna be super duper squishy.
Right.
Full melee
Well,
comp.
I did mention it is awkward to have a Esmeralda and Uranus on one lineup, but with this kind of comp, totally okay. Gonna Kagura, gonna back siya. We might see a Cyclops here, but actually Kagura can counter it. But let's see what will be the utility support of Blue Fire.
Okay.
No Valier, no Farsa, no Selena. PNK, I'm not so sure.
I would actually be okay with PNK here, because they
alright.
need that lockdown. They don't have hard crowd control again.
Cyclops.
But
But the problem is of the backshot. The problem is of the backshot on that part.
Yeah, even if you lock down the backshot, doesn't care. He doesn't care about
doesn't
that.
care.
He's gonna absorb a lot of that damage, obviously, right? But
Let's see. Time to step up,
full
Blue Fire.
melee, Blue Fire. What's happening here? I don't know about this. I said crowd control, not super duper crowd control. That's like the most crowd control hero you can think of. I don't know.
That Nana will be crushed
This is gonna.
by the Kagura, by the Baksa even.
Oh man, I don't know if you guys like this pick, chat, but we're gonna see if our faces are like what?
Yeah.
We're obvious there on camera. Sorry,
I mean, you
but
could go PNK. You could even go for Cyclops.
Cyclops would have been better. I don't know. I feel like
I mean, in terms of damage, in terms of burst,
Cyclops is like a perfect balance between crowd control and burst damage, right? So that's the reason I would have liked it. But Nana is just like all basically crowd control here.
and they're all melee.
Yeah. So what Blue Fire is saying is, okay, do whatever you want. We will put all of our coins, all of our eggs into Chu.
And they're all melee, man.
Onto Lancelot. And
They're all melee. I mean, yes, Nana is ranged, but
yeah,
what we're asking is some heavy backline damage. Actually.
Right, there
Heavy
you
backline
go.
damage. And you can even go for Chango, but of course, I would prefer the Cyclops. I would prefer the PNK over the Chango for that composition. But Nana, well, we'll see. My vote here goes for Execration.
Execration's gonna probably win this out with 2-0, but we don't know yet as
Yeah.
we are heading into the map here
Yes.
for
It's
possibly the last game for
It's
the
gonna be
night.
awesome if Blue Fire prove us wrong.
Yeah, I would like Blue Fire to
Yeah.
prove us wrong.
Yeah, that's-
Please justify for us why you would pick Nana here.
We will see what happens here. All right. 5 members allocated here for the mid lane.
Okay, so there's a lot of pressure coming in from for Blue Fire. I like that. They're pressuring all of the major objectives right now, but they're not really they're not getting it. You know, they're just showing and flexing, but they're not really on the cusp of getting these. So I wonder how well that's gonna happen because Execration, they got both Lito and they got the blue, and Blue Fire's not getting anything.
Yeah,
Except for gold.
Well, we got Chu here delaying his buff. That's one. That's kind of a setup for the turtle. But I'm not expecting if Blue Fire is really setting up for the turtle just by delaying that buff. But the big win there is the double Lito.
Big win here.
So it may seem like a lead there by Blue Fire, but it is that came from the side lanes.
Yes.
The side laners here of Execration actually missed out the first wave.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That's a pretty big deal.
Yes.
That's also a reason why they are behind in gold. Because those big first waves are big sources of gold as well. And aside from the big buffs, the purple and the orange, those are the ones that you really want to get in the early game. And Execration kind of allocated a lot of resources just to protect these.
Very interesting rotation there by Benecutie, but still was able to dance around.
Yeah. And that's fine. So early on, you can see a lot of tough boots for Blue Fire. They expect a lot of magic damage, and they're not afraid to flex that right away.
Yeah.
And tough boots are going to be one of the biggest deals here because it also kind of deals with the crowd control of Execration.
Yes. So far, things are looking good now for Blue Fire here. Again, they're starting to answer the early damage to be handed on by Benecutie along with Edemax. But trap here? No, that's
going to
Kripzu.
be, Kripzu is going to be able to absorb a lot of this damage, except...
Still no?
That's still a big no here. You can only do that jump once. And
Yeah,
then
I
it
can
goes
only do
on
that jump
cooldown.
once. So that's all the full combos landed onto Kripzu. Just burning the cooldowns here. That's round 2. That might be it, but no follow-up on Benecutie.
Yeah, then Chewy's going to be in a pretty weird position here.
Oh! That was big and massive onto Hate. He did answer though with his Phantom Execution, so he was able to escape.
At least, but that was that's not ideal.
Yeah.
Right? That's not ideal here for Blue Fire. So at least they will still have Chu alive, no major casualties, and the gold flow is still pretty stable for the red side. And Blue Fire, they will be able to at least get that Lito back. Finally, right? They got something back here on the map. And they're proving that you cannot bully us in the early game.
We're getting the second cycle of the buff here. Hate dives in. Still the buff is secured down by Cho. Hate with half health. Edemax getting focused on by Kripzu. He can commit. Force the flicker out and Edemax dives in for the Soul Eater. Garrote out. That was very risky, honestly.
Cheeky. That was
just
very
cheeky. Kripzu can actually flicker in.
I would have loved to do that.
Yeah.
And that would have been funny, and that was an instant punish. But, of course, Execration not going to be allowed to punish here. But all they're doing is they are giving a lot of map control over to Blue Fire with these small interactions.
Yes, but they are still not dying. You got Kripzu here, chasing down onto Sagitnu. Etemax has no flicker. He only got an arrow. Kripzu staying down for the buff near the blue. And I think that's it.
Yeah, that's going to be it for the meantime. However, of course, Blue Fire will slowly grow this lead the mages of Execration are not really good at that big wave clear, so that's why they're lagging a little bit behind. Look at the Benny Cutie. That wave is not dead, and he's gonna be denied experience once more by Blue Fire.
Yep. So it is no, it's not a Kagura funnel, no? All right,
It's
it
not,
is
it's
a side lane Kagura.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a side lane Kagura.
More of a controlling type support Kagura, obviously.
Yes.
Not the big burst Kagura, not
Yeah.
the marksman Kagura that sometimes we see.
Yeah.
A big time reliance on setup here for Execration. They are looking for that big yin yang overturn into last Insanity play. We're not gonna see that yet, because obviously they need to farm up a bit more. So Execration needs this game to draw out. They need it to go long.
Yeah,
for
they're
it
just
to
being
work.
careful here. But of course, and remember, Hate here goes for the dive, focuses onto Limbs. There's still one first kill here coming in from Hate, but it's not gonna be committing towards Limbs, and that is gonna be Benny Cutie caught off guard. First blood into the hands of Chu.
That's pretty big there. I
Yeah,
feel
that was
like
big.
Execration, you know, their mission vision is to dodge in.
Beautiful Thornrose there.
But they're
Not
back.
for Hate. Secret here will be advancing, but not gonna be committing under the turret.
Yep. As I was saying, mission vision for Exa is just to stay alive, and they failed one already.
Yeah.
And because of that, Blue Fire gonna be more confident to invade.
That's really nice. Let us see here. Not gonna be seeing where the purple buff will land, but I think that is onto the side of Blue Fire. Yin Yang overturn goes for unseen. Of course, there is still the passive available. Ayo! Chases down the kid, and that's it. Nana will be saying goodbye onto that in Tagalog pana of the Selena.
Yep, the Nana on the Pana, that's the big thing here. So, big mistake by Atomax to just TP in front of the base with the Lancelot nearby. That was a little uncalled for. The Lancelot was very visible there, so I'm not sure why he did that. But, of course, because of that, Execration then fighting under the turtle, and they still are able to not get it.
Yeah, and I could actually feel the movement speed reduction onto Ling.
Right, it's a bit slow to watch, though.
On the Blade of Tempest, that's 20%. Now, it's really big. Right now, things are looking gloomy here for Execration. And there goes Blue Fire. The arrow misses down for the middle of Grape Zoo. Etomax tries to chase down. Grape Zoo hides onto the brush, gains the shield, gains the regeneration and added stats. And I think that's it. Things are looking really gloomy here for Execration.
It is. Execration, they're trying to stay alive here, but again, Blue Fire are using their toughness. You know, their full melee composition. They are using it to go straight into the heart of Exec. And they're having a tough time dealing with it.
And I just want to mention that, Cho here. Thorn goes just for the chase down. Nice. Back up by Kripzu onto Chaknu. Lots of damage being delivered as well by Cho, the passive of the Lancelot. Paying dividends here for Blue Fire.
That's a free 0-1 Lancelot here by Chu. And they are not showing any signs of slowing down.
Yes.
I kind of expect this to keep going because right now they have proven that Chaknu is not as tanky as it seems. And that they can dive under tower very well.
The mission here for Execration is to stall. Actually, in the late game, they have the added advantage here in terms of damage trade compared to the Nana. And remember that Liams is still not getting some obvious lead on this Esmeralda. So, there's the possibility of the comeback. The problem here is also of Hate. He's not given freedom to go for the dive. The damage into the ring. Let's see here. Tons of damage being delivered coming in from the Yin Yang overtime. Re-engage here. Down for the Ling. And of course, with the Blade of Tempest, makes him hard to target. Followed up by Benny Cutie. The Roshu Umbrella. Not flee, but Chase actually completes it with the Chogomogo. We got here another kill, maybe. Onto that Nana. No passive on that kid. I think that's it.
Yeah,
no, there's
there is the passive.
Arrow! No,
more. Of course. 1 HP almost for Atomax. But because of that, Execration now have ability to push onto big objectives like that tower and the turtle.
And that's what we're talking about. Again, the problem here is the lack of damage. Yes, you get the Lancelot. But the follow-up damage for the Lancelot, once you shut down that guy, once the Thorn Rose is burned, once there are no more stacks for the puncture, it is going to be awkward for Blue Fire.
That's true. The advantage that you get by picking the Nana is that you're great in the early game.
Yes,
you have a great early game, lots of crowd control, but we are in the mid game now.
Yes, actually, Execration observing their playstyle, that was very, very conservative in the early game. Totally understandable. Now, Etomax can take the fight. And again, I just want to emphasize that Ling did step up. There go for the chase down to Etomax. Good.
What a save!
By Chakno, slam dunk into the base here of Limbs on Kripzu. Hate chases down Limbs. Ladies and gentlemen, Arrow will be sidestep in almost connected onto Limbs. but at least he will be able to walk away.
Man, that Esmeralda is sexy, you know?
Yeah.
So, the curves must be so thin on that.
Yeah,
the arrow was, I think, right there.
It's just exact on the curves there. We got the Gillette instant replay. Hashtag shave the day. And again, actually started after the yin yang overturn of Benny Cutie. There is a very nice juggle between the two. Again, it's not just hate that they have taken their attention to. Blue Fire, that is. Benny Cutie was able to follow up. And that semi-umbrella opened.
Yep.
They shot big damage against Execration.
That
Actually,
was
curious about Benny Cutie if he has the Thunder Staff. Or
we'll see later.
Yeah.
Let's look at that later. For now, though, Hate looks like he's having a lot more fun. Now that he has his items completed on the link, that's a 2-0 and free lane, and it is not slowing down as well.
Yeah.
And we are back in the rhythm here. This looks more like the Execration that we know.
Yeah, actually looking, not Thunder Staff, sorry. It's the Lightning Truncheon. It's been a long time since we've seen it because some natural users of Lightning Truncheon stopped using it. Swap it actually for, not just Thunderbolt, but actually Calamity Reaper.
Right, right? For mages, big time mages.
But let us see, and also Glowing Wand. Let us see here. Arrow onto Atom, coming in from Atomax, and followed up here by Hate with his Blade of Tempest. But the first one to react will be the first one to lose. There's the reaction coming in from the Link. There's the reaction coming in from the Lancelot. Both of them will be gone on this lot. Let's see here. Secret. Oh, advancing forwards towards Sagitnu. Chaknu body blocking everything that he can. Hate re-engaged. Link is still alive. He goes for Secret. Now tries to go for the cleanup and dish out big damage. But this is a Uranus. He has enough of deadliness in his blade to complete the kill. Unseen is the next. And there's again another passive here for the Nana. But no escape from the Zenbon Sakura. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Hate cleans up. It's a total of a 4-4-1 exchange here, all in favor of Execration.
Man, great micro mechanics coming in from Ling. I gotta commend these guys for doing that, and you have to commend Blue Fire for being super persistent. In the early game.
Yes.
To keep it, but you know, as we were told earlier, those who get it, those who are persistent, they get it.
This is a new this is a totally growing Execration as well, who's not just going all in with the fights.
That's
Tries to know when to tone down.
That's
Tries to know that they got a Nana. We will surely win this one. We don't need to fight in the early game. We just need to get a scaling down. If we kill that Lancelot, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it for Blue Fire.
And that's exactly what happened in that last fight as well. They took care of the Lancelot, and because of that, Hate was able to maneuver even better around the map. So super persistent for Blue Fire, and they got it. But Execration, they just want consistency, and they are getting it.
Yes, and things are, Execration is maybe under the draft. They already read that maybe the hero pool of Limbs is a bit low. I mean, Blue Fire has been obviously prioritizing the Esmeralda, and it's not, it's not as impactful as it is supposed to be.
Well, I feel like I can respect that, right? I can respect the priority. Maybe that's what their practice was about. But obviously, it's not working out. There is something that they need to fix here so far. But the game is not done. Maybe they're holding out for a big play.
Yes,
we'll have to wait and see for that.
Yes, and even Crypto can scale.
Yeah, for sure.
Crypto can scale into the game. And it may come to a point that Execration may, even though they have the damage, even though they can outscale the Nana, Crypto can scale into a very hustle tank.
Depending on how many stacks he can get.
Yes, and depending on the stacks, right.
That's a big question, and still, that's going to be contesting against a Ling of Hate, 4-0-5 right now.
We got Chaknu roaming in. Secret may have smelled this Lord. I think the sound cue already landed on. And now we got Hate. They're focusing on the Secret. They want to remove the pressure down for the Uranus. It gets destroyed. Cripsu stays in the middle. Force the flicker out. Come from Etomax, leaving a trap. And now we got also Hate. And Purple Buff. Secured by Benny Cutie. That's it. Execration tries to rip apart the members here of Blue Fire. It will be the Blade of Tempest completed as well. Chaknu bumps onto Chu. And a follow-up quick coming in from Hate, and I think that's it. That's going to be a 0-4-2. Execration delays the Lord and still get the win.
Yeah, and there's no way that Blue Fire can contest this Lord now. That's all that Execration wanted. Now, they are going straight for it. This should be a very easy push.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show that even in a tight area where Nana is supposed to be very good, they still lost it.
They still lost it. That is the truth.
I mean, it's super obvious now, right?
Nana lacks damage.
The problem with Nana, it's super obvious.
Yeah, she lacks damage. That's really the big problem here. And you pair that with the Esmeralda, you pair that with Uranus. Maybe if you even have maybe Yuzong, would be
Yeah.
nice, to follow up onto the Nana crowd control because of the burst damage that
Yep.
can be ripped by Yuzong
Because of
here.
the passive.
Because of the passive,
Yeah.
right?
So without that though, who's doing the damage?
Yes.
Nothing really.
I mean,
except
you
for
got
Chu.
you got Chu,
Except for
but
Chu.
again, that's expected onto the carry here. But if you compare to the damage of Etomax, if you
Big
compare to the
difference.
damage of Benny Cutie, even the Tortoise presents on Jacknu, and even sa Gitnu's last Insanity, right?
Yeah,
Look
exactly.
at that. That is going to be the
Oh my
Falling
gosh.
Starman used defensively, and that gives freedom for the members of Execration to go in with the last Insanity coming in from Sagitnu. And now
Oh
they will
boy.
try to delete any remaining member of Blue Fire trying to defend here into the mid lane. As the inhibitor gets taken down, Hate into the front line, Creepsu body blocks him. The Lord is now focusing down for the base, and you also got Hate focusing on the top lane, inhibitor turret, and I think that should be it. No minion waves available for the mid, but they will be able to at least get complete that inhibitor turret up top. Last Insanity second round, Sagitnu finishes that one, follow up by that Blade of Tempest, and ladies and gentlemen, Execration here at their best takes this game number 2 against Blue Fire.
And that was all she wrote for that game. Beautifully done there by Execration. The discipline, right? The discipline of these guys, it shows their veteran status, especially in that early game where they were obviously behind.
Yeah.
It was super obvious that Execration was behind in that last one. But overall, big props to Blue Fire here. Again, being super persistent, at least trying to capitalize on the Nana pick.
Yeah.
Trying.
I think the drop was really going kind of really good, but
except for that last one.
Yeah, things are looking awkward. Actually, one of the biggest manifestations of the 10 ban system is things always look awkward by the last pick.
Yeah, you noticed
Yes,
that. Like
yes.
all day, that's been happening.
Yeah,
Omega.
Kenji. Yeah, Omega on Kenji,
right?
and this time onto the utility support of Blue Fire.
Such a big deal.
And the dog is a lucky charm.
Follow the dog. The dog knows.
Have a dog in your boot compound.
Oh my gosh.
Always
You see,
makes-
he was barking orders. Literally barking orders.
Always makes everything
Like, I know that's
better.
a metaphor usually.
Always
but
makes everything better. You know,
Yeah.
you dogs are the best. You just make sure that you provide them with enough
Treats.
love. You reflect their love with enough food. Feed them chimken.
You do that.
They love chimken. Chimken. Yeah.
And it really does
Yeah.
help your team. It
It was well done. It was well done by Execration. I mean, Hate was really stellar. And Lancelot, Jacknu.
Dude.
It's really good. Yeah, on the back siya.
He was first-blooded.
Yes.
Is that the term? First-blooded? First blood? But he made up for
He
it.
follows the first blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very beautifully done there. I would say they did not have the early game advantage, but they knew it. They recognized that they did not have it, and they played very well with it.
Yeah. And Zapdo must be happy right now.
He must be
You know,
so
we have some very casual series here, but I think still heated fights as the 10 ban system got introduced on this very first day. 2-0 for 2-0 for Bren, 2-0 for Execration. Alright. Looking forward on what would be the insights that will come in from our resident analyst as he breaks down this second series. And I hope Wolf is a dog owner.
He is.
I hope
Very proud.
Yeah, he has a very cute dog as well.
Yeah.
I hope he acknowledges the lucky charm.
The importance.
That is the dog.
Yeah.
That's head.
That's
sorry about that. It's cuteness overwhelming on that
It
part,
is.
and
It's way
one of the main highlights of this live stream. And let's see the breakdown of this game from Wolfcast.
Guest na kaya na sana ng Blue Fire yung game number 2 after that very good performance at the start of the match, but of course channel the hate still prevailed dito para sa Execration, and I like how they utilize the Ling. First, if you want to really break this game down, we'll have to start with the draft, and I think very interesting yung approach dito ng Execration with their drafting, and I kind of wanna really commend yung drafter dito sa Execration kung sino, if it's Zabno or if it's an overall team effort for the team, well done. Okay, why is that the case? I think that the last 2 picks here mula sa Execration ay ang Baksha as well as that Kagura that really surprised the Blue Fire. Not only that, dahil sa mga unang picks ng Blue Fire, they already showed their Uranus. I think this is the 4th pick. And then you also have this Esmeralda naman that was picked first. So imagine this. Ang unang tatlong pinakita ng Execration was Ling, X-Borg as well as the Selena. Samantala yung Blue Fire, ang una naman nilang pinakita na apat, since they are the red side. They showed Hilda, Esme, Lance, and the Uranus. Very strong side lanes, very solid mid din in the early stages of the game. But then again, may malaking loophole dito ang draft ng Blue Fire, which is yung pinakita na nila, yung Esmeralda and Uranus. While it's true na napakalakas itong combo na to, imagine if this was controlled by any other team, ang ganda sana. But Execration countered once again. Just like in game number 1 na kinuha nila yung high loss na last pick mula kay Chaknu, now they showed the backsha. And maybe later during the post-game stats, makikita natin how crucial this backsha is. Why? Napakasimple. For the longest time, even in the past seasons, we know that the backsha actually answers the Esmeralda, the Uranus, and any other sustain-based lineup. Now, merong last pick na Nana dito coming out from Blue Fire. And you might wonder, ano nga ba yung ideology? Why they pick the Nana? Well, honestly, I could have sworn na baka Cyclops sana yung ilalast pick nila because that's what they're lacking. Wala na silang mage support. Naban yung Farsa, naban yung Valier, and there's Selena on the other side. Ano ba yung pwede nila i-pick? So it's a toss-up between other heroes, right? I mean, they chose Nana dahil dun sa hard lockdown niya sana against the Ling. And if you think about it, okay, siguro nag-make sense nga dito yung Molina laban sa Ling and any other hero here from Execration. Plus the fact na may magic amplification ng Nana to go with the Uranus as the Esmeralda sana, that would have been perfect. However, Ling and Hate showed this with the proper timing. Napakalaking counter or napakalaking problema ng isang Ling against the Nana dahil una may burst. Pangalawa, yung Tempest of Blades was perfect to dive the Nana kapag nag-proc na yung passive. Maybe, actually, that's just the draft, di ba? Ang dami agad issues dito from Execration. But Blue Fire, if we see the highlights, they actually moved in such a good manner na makokontrol nila yung lineup dito ng Execration. And it all started with the invades. Honestly, the invade started in the second round of buffs. So this is the first blood. It happened a little bit late. But one thing that I have to take note is yung second round ng buffs ay nakuha ng Blue Fire. Now, this is the third round of buffs. So the first one was, syempre, the start of the game. Next is 2 minutes thereafter. So it happens maybe 2 minutes 30 or 3 minutes. Then afterwards is the third refresh ng mga buffs natin, right? So the second one thing that I want you to understand is nung second, nag-invade dito ang Blue Fire. So that's good. The invade is very good dahil na ginagawa ng Blue Fire, pigilan yung Ling. So that's perfect. However, in this third round, Execration, alam na nila, mag-i-invade ulit to. Alam nila yung emphasis sa Ling and maybe we can punish them because of this. So what happens is, Execration, they braced themselves. Blue Fire still gets this buff. Nakuha pa rin nila to. But look at how well coordinated. Hinintay nila na mag-overcommit yung Blue Fire na nandito na sila sa area na to so that the yin-yang overturn will hit onto 4 or 5 even members of Blue Fire kung sakaling 5 yun nandun. So any member here from Blue Fire will be hit by that wonderful yin-yang overturn from Benny Cutie that really set up the play. Tapos syempre, meron kang follow-up na last insanity and they layered it so perfectly well. Even the jump from the Ling is also wonderful. Ang ganda ng timing. And this was that clash that really stopped the growth of Blue Fire. Blue Fire, sobrang dependent nila sa early game because they are running the Lancelot. And honestly, any clash that happened after this won't matter as much as compared to that specific clash na ginawa dito na Execration. That read that they did, yung alam nila na nung second round, in-invade sila. Nung third round, they braced themselves, hindi nagpapatay. Sige, ibigay natin yung purple buff. Pero yung fact na yung Blue Fire dito ay sa invade, nabasa na move ng Execration. That's perfect. By the way, that play on the Ling, perfect, di ba? Tempest of Blades with the just right amount of timing to dive the passive of this Nana. And like I said, because of that massive punishment coming out from Execration, they were able to pull away from this game and eventually win it 2-0 against Blue Fire. So, saan nga ba nagsimula itong mga laban, itong pagkapanalo ng Execration? Evidently, we can attribute it to the draft just because of the fact that they have so many tools to really control the side of Blue Fire. But I think that the really crucial thing that Execration did was to stop that third invade. And knowing this, this is how you play mind games against your opponents, right? Alam ng Execration dito na ang kahinaan ng kanilang link strategy is when they don't have those purple buffs. And they kind of read it. At gusto ko yung mastery dito ni Hate, which is our MVP of the game with this 6, 0, and 9 performance. Wonderfully done. At bakit ko sinasabing malupit yung kanyang ginawa? Normally, links, pag na-meet nyo sa mga pub matches nyo or mapanood nyo sa ibang names, nagwawala na sila pag wala silang second or third purple buff. But what Hate did is to really endure. Tiis pogi, ang tawag natin dito. Tiis pogi technique. Sige, hindi ka makakuha ng unang purple buff, bawi tayo susunod. And this is also attributed to the fact that Hate's lane was phenomenal in the past season, and we can see it being channeled once again. Back-to-back, napaka-lupit na performance of Hate, and really, really good when it comes to performing in MPL Season 6. And really proving me wrong. Honestly, if you've watched some videos outside of MPL, hindi ako bumoto sa Execration just because of the fact that I thought that Blue Fire had something in them. But unfortunately, that fire did not awoken. Hindi nagising yung apoy, kumbaga, hindi nagliyab in specific game. Nevertheless, I think we'll have an interview with our featured player of Execration dahil nga sila yung nanalo. And we can interview. Okay, so I think this is Hate, if I'm not mistaken. Dek, hello?
Hello po.
Okay, so Hate, kamustahin mo naman yung mga viewers natin na nanonood sa inyo ngayon?
Shoutout sa inyo dyan. Salamat sa mga sumusuporta sa amin.
Oo. Hate, nahirapan ba kayo nung game number 2? Kamusta naman yung link performance mo doon? Nahirapan ba kayo o nadalian ba kayo sa game na yun?
Nahirapan naman po kasi sobrang lakas ng early na eh. Parang ang hirap pigilan, parang ano. Kaya yun na lang, naghintay na lang kami ng proper timing para mag-overcommit sila dun sa ano, sa blue buff ko. Tapos yun, parang inubos na lang namin kahit ibigay lang yung blue.
Oh, yung third na tinry nila mag-invade, diba? Yung pangatlong buff, tapos yun yung nakuha ninyo. Mabilis lang, describe mo yung communication sa inyo nung medyo lugi kayo sa early. Paano kayo nag-usap-usap para bawiin yung laban?
Sabi ay may nag-shot call sa amin ng ano, mag-invade ulit sa sa blue, tas limahin natin ganun, parang abangan namin.
Perfect. Okay. Ngayon, eto na lang madami nag-expect sa Execration. At ano pa ba yung pwede naming makita sa inyo? I-hype mo naman yung pwede pa naming abangan sa Execration ngayon.
Ano lang po, mga more improvements lang, parang yung mga pagkakamali namin ng Season 5, parang yun lang, ini-improve namin.
Okay, thank you.
Parang nag-practice lang kami ng nag-practice.
Okay. So last question ko sa'yo, siguro actually hindi pala question eh. Bumati ka na ngayon, bigyan mo na ng shoutout yung mga gusto mong i-shoutout at magpasalamat ka na sa mga gusto mong pasalamatan. Go!
Shoutout nga pala sa mama ko. Nanonood lagi ng live ng laro ko, tapos sa mga pamilya ko dyan, sa mga tropa ko dyan sa pangarap, tapos sa team ko, sa buong team ko, shoutout sa inyo, tapos sa girlfriend ko.
Okay. Thank you so much, Hate. Congratulations. At we expect to see more from you. Maraming salamat, Hate, of course, from Execration. And saktong-sakto, na-validate dito ni Hate yung kanilang sagot doon sa aggression ng Blue Fire. And you can see a lot of promise for this team. Now, Blue Fire naman, siguro kailangan nila i-fix dito is have a greater pool of their strategies because they really seemed like they're limited in the previous game. Ayun, ang ganda sana. May idea yung draft nila dito. Nagme-make sense lahat ng kanilang mga strategies. It's just that it wasn't enough in the end. But this is MPL Season 6. And we know na yung mga best sa ating larangan, the best in the business will really reign supreme. And we are seeing a lot of good stuff. The previous week was full of 2-1s. This today, it's full of 2-0s, and we'll have a very quick Friday. However, the action resumes tomorrow. A lot of featured matches tomorrow. We'll have another triple header, and that's going to be very exciting. Of course, you have been watching MPL Season 6, the regular season, brought to us by our official telco partner, Smart. Forge stronger bonds with your team as you conquer the battlefield with Smart Giga Games. Enjoy 1 GB of games all day for Mobile Legends, Facebook Gaming, and more. Just dial *123# and choose Giga Games 99. MPL Season 6 is also brought to us by our official sponsor, Realme. And Realme is celebrating their first Realme Fan Fest and hashtag Dare to be Realme campaign. Visit their official page at fb.com/Realme Philippines to know more. MPL Season 6 is also brought to us by our official sponsor, Gillette. And of course, get up to 50 diamonds with every purchase of Gillette's Mac 3 Razor, Vector 3 Razor, or Blue 3 Simple Force Pack in select Pure doors nationwide. Hashtag Shave the Day with Gillette. MPL Season 6 is also brought to us by our partner in esports, PayMaya. Get 7% balikbayad when you purchase your gaming pins via PayMaya, the better way to pay. Promo runs until August 31. Our official partner in esports, TikTok. Just search MLBB in TikTok and have a chance to win some skins. Napakadali lang mga kaibigan. Search lang MLBB sa TikTok. Legit. And of course, MPL Season 6 is brought to us by our official gaming headset partner, Logitech G. Here like a pro, and of course, powered by Moonton. On behalf of the casters, hindi lang sa Filipino stream, but also in the English stream, we bid you good night. This has been Wolf, your resident analyst. And why don't we look at the top 5 plays of the season before we call it a night? Kita-kits bukas.
Game to be great? Now you can with the new Smart Giga Games 99. Get 1 gig data all day, every day for Mobile Legends and more. Game to be great with Smart Giga Games 99.
Your life depends on the network you choose. Your movies, music, and games can only be as good as your network speed and strength. Slow means
game over.
But the Philippines' fastest mobile data network means
game changing.
Choose the network that gives you what you truly enjoy. How do you know about this Giga Life?
Simple, smart ako.
When uncertainty is our reality, we rise above with the things that matter. Gigafy happiness. Gigafy love. Gigafy friendship. Gigafy dreams. Gigafy hope. With smart Giga music, video, games, work, and stories, we let our passions run free in the new world we face together. Smart, live Giga.
Realme smartphone. Dare to leap.
Realme Watch. Time to be smarter. Realme, dare to leap.
Don't pay cash.
Pay Maya.
Para may balik bayad ka.
You've got me on the edge.
Legit, right? Not quite. Just like your disposable razor. It's time you switch your disposable razor for your legit first shave so you can be every bit legit. Gillette Mac 3.
For a closer shave, less irritation, switch
to Gillette Mac 3.